Start it.
Start it? Did you start it?
Yeah, I started.
That's my cue to open my can.
Wow. So since I didn't actually, I'm gonna cut this out. I'm cut it all up. Look at you out,
We're gonna keep our soft, nice kisses in there.
Nope.
Ah, lame.
Yep. No.
Disappointing.
Disappointed.
Trying to decide if I should take my tights off. I can take them off later if I get too hot. All the time. I'm looking cute. My hair's looking good.
All right.
I'm just checking myself out. Don't mind me.
You ready?
I'm ready. Done being goofy. I'm ready.
Nice. All right, so, oh wait. How do we normally do our intro? Something about this is the show. Whatever.
Yeah, the one who normally does the intro.
Mm-hmm. Start it in 3, 2, 1. Hello!
Hi.
Welcome to Dungeon Duets, the show where it's me playing a solo D&D game with her.
With me.
With her.
Just me.
So, we don't have anything to say, do we? No announcements?
No official announcement. It's the
These
timing.
aren't live anymore.
The
so it
timing
doesn't
of this is
matter.
weird, you know.
I don't know why we do this.
It's cause you
Chopping
know
this out.
when it comes up, they'll give you like a sense of like time as to how long ago it was that we recorded this.
Yeah.
If you're watching this and you bought dice from me, thank you. I had my first like real sort of official dice shop opening,
Mm-hmm.
fancy dice,
Yeah.
and you guys have just about cleaned me out, and it feels really good. People are super excited about them. We have stickers. I have stickers coming this week, so that'll be a thing. You guys could get Dungeon Duets stickers that you could put on things, all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
Put on your friends.
You could put them on your friends. Yeah. You could put them on your mom.
You can put them on your mom. Put them on your dog.
You could put them on your dog.
Put them on your car. Put them on whatever.
That's lame.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Who
Whatever.
does that?
I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna put it on you while you're sleeping.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
won't know that. I'll be asleep.
In our usual
Put on your
fashion.
doctor.
In our usual fashion, we've gotten distracted already.
Yep.
So yeah, we've got cool stuff. If you're not following us on Instagram, you should follow us on Instagram because that's where a lot of this stuff happens. Yeah.
Oh yes. If you did buy her dice, I hope that you watch her. What was the catchphrase I came up?
Come for the dice.
Come for the dice and stay for the story.
Yeah. That's on the stickers.
Oh, is it?
It's on the stickers.
Oh my
Did you not
God.
notice that?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't even look at them.
Yeah. The truth comes out.
I'm sorry.
I sent him pictures and he's like, yeah, those look really cool.
Did I really? Oh man. Oh, I've been caught.
You know, it's a good thing I love you.
Yeah, it is. Okay. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So, where we last left off, Tiriel had finally made her way on the back of a turtle to the Dust Court of the Emerald Realm. If you don't know, the Dust Court, or the Emerald Realm, is split into 6 courts of Fae, and these courts are represented by the seasons of summer, winter, autumn, and fall, or autumn and spring, excuse me, with the 2 additional courts of dawn and dusk. Tiriel, having been sort of raised in the Dust Court from a young age,
Raised herself, took herself there.
had a sort of journey of self-discovery in the Dust Court, went back to seek the aid of Oberon in order to hopefully attempt to get back to the Merwood, where she is now needed because she has inherited her father's Moonblade. So, in our last session, you traversed through the Twisting Woods. You went through the Amethyst Archways. Encountered Bleakmire.
That's cool.
Went deep into the Undernight. And then from there, you found your way into Felseal, the palace of the Dust Court. So, from there, you spoke with Oberon, had a sort of little dueling match. He upgraded your powers, and the powers that you gained from him in the first place. And then he pretty much enlisted your guys' aid to go save his sister, Crescia. So where we last left off, literally, you were at, I believe you were in sort of almost a bow. Not really a bow, but like on one knee. With Oberon there in his full armor, with this sort of helmet with these stag beetle-like horns.
Covered in wine.
You're covered in wine and a bit of your vomit.
Really classy.
Calthena's probably from behind, like, prestidigitation, just blink, blink, blink.
Yeah,
just cleaning
section
you up
at a time.
Yeah. And he's there, and he's got this, like, big sort of chitinous plate that's just black, and these sort of black, almost butterfly wings that sort of make up, I guess, a little, like, I forget what you call that armor piece, but it's like the skirt armor piece, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's similar to that.
Tip of my tongue.
Anyways, I'm sure you guys get the picture.
Someone knows.
Yeah. So he's there, and he's basically said, "Let's go." You have your brother Gildor and your wizard friend Calthena, standing off to the side and behind you, in this giant dusk palace of Felseal, sort of constructed of this black sort of wrought iron that is very spiky and twisty in places. And in Oberon's courtroom, the floors are made of intricate sort of mosaic tiles. And then there's this like large stained glass mirror behind him, which you know from experience changes ever so subtly with Oberon's mood. And now it's sort of one of renewed determination, where he was once inclined to sort of sit back and not be as proactive in his sister's rescue, because he knows ultimately the odds are against it. But now, with your help, it's possible. So you're sitting there. What would you like to do?
Like to sort of straighten herself up from everything. Start gearing up, essentially. Pick up her things, sort of rehang her pack. I think she'll take, because she has the staff that she carries on her back, and she has the Moonblade sort of on a secondary belt,
right,
where her sword normally sits. I think I'm gonna take a minute and like strap that to my back as well, sort of just across her chest so it's out of the way right now, and just sort of switch the belt around so that it's sort of tucked behind her pack and held there.
Okay. Nice.
And
sort of keeping the Moonblade out of the way.
And, secure. And
very nice.
She's... Yeah.
You know for a fact that Oberon can also transform into something that could help you guys get there much faster.
I have a question for Gildor before we do.
Sure.
I need to know who's in charge there. Who, if you know, who will we expect to find? And if I were looking for who would be best to send a message with? Who would I be looking for?
Well, I don't know much about the Dawn Wizards. I know that, I believe the Archmage, his name is Senwarin, but that is all that I know. That is the extent of my knowledge. I know more about their sponsors in the, among the Emerald Council, more so than who actually commands them here.
How many members of the council are in favor of this?
Of what's happening?
Yes.
I'm not sure. A majority, though, or else it wouldn't be happening. There are 2 council members in specifically who I believe favor what the Dawn Wizards are doing, but the Dawn Wizards aren't just plucking the wings off of these creatures for military purposes. And they're also searching for something. And I believe you know what that is. We've spoken of it before. The Emerald Dragon. Which, who knows if that exists or not, but they're hoping it does. But Senwarin is the man we're looking for.
Alright.
Yes.
Well, I think we have a way there. With Oberon's help. We have to go to Nyxeris regardless. It's our way back to the Merwood. But we won't go quietly.
What did you have in mind?
Well, I'm not content to simply walk past what's being done. I intend to do what we can to stop them or slow them down. You want to go?
Yeah,
You want to go kick that cat?
Derby, go kick a cat.
Not really.
I mean, no, I'm actually gonna do it. Psst.
Oh.
Anyways, as you were saying, something about us, how we're getting out of here.
I'm gonna look between Gildor and look up at Oberon. I suspect we fly.
Oberon just nods, and with literally no time to spare, you watch as Oberon shifts his form he shifts his form again. Instead of the black-clad figure, you now watch as the beetle-like horns from his helmet shift back and elongate, forming the bony edge to what looks like wings, feathers sprouting and unfurling, falling into place. Where his breastplate once was, a vulture's head pushes forward through the chitinous plates. The bird-like eyelids shoot open, and you see the unmistakable eyes of Oberon, haunting in their gentle glow. Come, we will go where she is. You hear his resonant voice permeate your mind, urgent and beckoning. You climb atop. You, Gildor, Calfena, you guys all amble up there into this essentially vulture-like form of Oberon. And you're all just sort of clutching at various places wherever you can get purchased, because there's no real like handholds, but he is massive. Enough, or at least big enough for the 3 of you to get on top of him.
Can Miles sort of wrap his legs around one vulture bird leg and ride that way?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
And Miles just ching, 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 and just each wraps around like a section of his legs. Well, I guess he's only got So a set of two. Yeah, because he's only got 3. He's got 6 legs.
He has 8 legs.
Did you repair him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had time.
Okay. But with 2 big, powerful beats of his wings, Oberon is immediately flying. He glides along the palace floors of Valsil, and you see Twitchy scrambling in a mad dash. Tetchy. Why did I write Twitchy? Tetchy scrambling in a mad dash to open the large doors. You realize quickly that Tetchy won't make it, and the doors are too cumbersome for him to open as quickly as he needs to. You wince, bracing for impact, and then Oberon takes a very steep dive towards the floor, and immediately your stomach just has a sort of instinctive climb up into your throat. But instead of hitting the floor, Oberon dives into a shadow. And almost like you're underwater, he plunges into this realm of shadow, immeasurable, like the ocean or sky. Except you, specifically you, can see in this realm of shadow. You see the mighty wings of Oberon, the panicked expressions of Calthena and Gildor, and in a flash it ends, and Oberon surfaces from another shadow, except this time in the courtyard. And then he begins hurtling up and up and up towards the nebulous crystal cavern top. With each powerful beat of his wings, he's growing quicker and quicker. Again, your reactive mind sort of expects a collision with this ceiling-like structure. The domed ceiling interior of the cavern. But you hear the soft voice of Oberon, like a whisper on your neck. And he says, "Do not fear." You see a black spot of darkness that grows above you. Oberon flies into it, and once again you are in the boundless realm of shadow. Your eyes adjust, and you see the faint gasp of light, and then whoosh, you are now soaring into the twilight skies of dusk. So now you guys are flying on the back of Oberon, and you're flying to where you assume is Nyxaris. Nyxaris, excuse me. I kept saying Nyxaris.
Sorry. I assume we're all sort of like hunkered down, like laying on the back of a giant vulture.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely, they're scared. All of that was just very quick succession of things that happened, and now you're just flying through the night sky, or twilight sky, I should say.
Sky.
Yeah.
Tiriel's just gonna sort of like holding on as well as she can, like sit up. Like I want to see
Okay.
what's coming and where we're headed, because I don't know that she's ever been, other than passing through Nyxaris when she would have first gotten there.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't necessarily spent any time there since being at the like she would have gone to the Dust Court and not really had any reason to go back.
I mean, Nyxaris at one point, well, not when you went through. When you went through, it was still the sort of Dawn wizard controlled territory that it was. Mm-hmm. It's sort of their outpost now. A lot of old buildings, old elven structures are just abandoned, mm-hmm. Or repurposed for the Dawn wizards and whatever trade or whatever sort of commerce they're doing there, which is not very much. Mm-hmm. But they're doing a little bit to sort of keep themselves stocked and supplied. And so perhaps in the beginning you might have met a lieutenant, essentially, or a priest, someone higher in the commander chain from the Dawn Wizards, who would have been like, "Hey, that's the way to the Dust Court," mm-hmm. and they would have sort of pointed you in the right direction.
I'm gonna use message to Oberon.
Okay, just a cantrip. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do you know where she will be? Can you? I don't know, sense her in any way.
His voice comes back to you, not through the message, but just directly in your mind. And he says, "I cannot sense my sister's direct location, but I do know that she would be in the Dawnstone, where, from what I've heard, from what little I've learned and gleaned, she would be. That is where they take their experiments.
Not be so easy to get in there.
I don't plan on taking the easy way. We will encounter heavy resistance, but
Yes.
I can push the way forward, and you can follow behind me and sneak in maybe.
I would not mind letting them know that we are coming.
I like your style.
Cool plan, bro.
Yeah. Sweet plan. I like it. Probably not the best, but pretty flashy. So he lets you know, he gives you a few more details that essentially all the information you learned was from the changeling Mugen. Mugen is he's of the Autumn Court, but essentially he likes to gather and disperse information pretty much anywhere. So he tends to have contacts in various places. Oftentimes the words that come from him you have to take with a grain of salt because he can potentially dish out some misleading information. But Oberon seems to trust at least these words. But yeah, apparently the Dawn Wizards have been taking various Fae from all over the Emerald Realm and have been trying to sort of, I guess, harness some properties of them, but for, you know, a military purpose, a militant purpose.
I cannot believe that other courts have not done anything about this.
Well, the Dawn Wizards have been, they've had the backing of the Dawn Court. And it's sometimes hard to say no to Titania. And they may not know everything. They might not know the whole account of it. I believe the Dust Court has been hit the most explicitly.
You are the closest.
We are the most hated by the Dawn Court.
I can see elves and other Fae having a hard time saying no to any of you or Titania. What about the other court Fae? What about the kings and queens of their seasons? Why have they not?
They are locked in their own struggles. It has not been many years since winter moved upon us all. And they are still recovering from that injury. And the Dawn Court claims to bring hope. Hope for both the Merwood Elves and a return to balance here in the Emerald Realm. They claim to search for secrets. Secrets of a thing like the Emerald Dragon.
They're searching for those secrets in the bodies of your people. It's not what they should be doing.
No, it isn't.
Well, in whatever way we can, we will stand against them. For a moment.
You feel like a pregnant pause between the words that you exchange via the spell and the words that he comes back with and responds with in your mind. And after a long time he says, I want you to not worry about me.
What do you mean?
I didn't plan on coming here without expecting a degree of death. To what degree that matters to me a creature who will come back, well, it's different than how you perceive it. So, if it gets bad, don't worry. I'll be back.
Sort of, whatever way I can. Sort of like sink my hands into the vulture feathers. Just do not throw yourself into anything recklessly. You may not come back the same.
And this is why I'm here. I'm here because I'm throwing myself into this recklessly. I don't have a choice anymore. My sister is in need. I would do anything for her. I would give up my immortality if it meant that she could be safe.
That I can understand.
What about you, Tiriel? Would you give up your immortality for your loved ones?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm quite immortal.
You don't believe?
I believe I would come back as something. Not the same thing.
Isn't that in itself a form of immortality?
Yes, but I don't know. The elves believe that... I don't know. I would love to come... I always wanted to come back as something here. Something frightening.
Of course you would. Well, here's a riddle for you. Would you take immortality to protect those that you love?
Take it.
In your form now, and never give it up. You as you are, bound forever like I am, to the Dust Court.
That doesn't sound too terrible. There is a lot. I've always been confident in my own abilities. There's a lot I could do given enough time. I've lived a small piece of the life I expect to have. And I feel like I've already done a lot.
But you don't know when immortality would come to claim you.
No.
He's still just like beating his wings through the air, and you're noticing the gradual change from the sort of twilight sky, which is very much sort of just pitched between light and dark, and then in the dark areas everything is light, and now you're sort of seeing the sky slowly change to being that sort of bright, almost oppressive, just morning dawn. You do have, I would say, a little bit of time. You have probably about an hour if you'd like to do anything or prepare anything or anything like that.
As long, I mean, if it counts as a short rest, I can benefit from a couple of things from that. But I've already done my arcane recovery.
Oh, that's right.
So I can't do that.
It could perceivably count as a short rest. You won't be doing anything too tedious except for sitting on the back of a giant vulture. Although I guess sitting on the back of a giant vulture would be uncomfortable for an hour, but
yeah.
Let's say Oberon's got the nice plush seats installed.
Oh,
you know what
cool.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
It's not like airplane seats that only recline like this
Oh my-
far.
I need to go to sleep.
Nailed it.
I hate airplanes.
On an unrelated note,
I hate vultures.
I hate flying on vultures. Jeez.
Vultures, man.
Yeah. One last thing to Oberon.
Sure.
On our way to Felseal, through the Twisting Wood, you know who I met? He asked what I was willing to give up. And I am not... I don't know that I'm quite willing to give it up, but when the time comes, I will. I was not sure any more than I wanted to go back to the Merwood. I did not want to leave the day that I left, but once I was gone, I was not sure I wanted to return. But now, I go back and I feel like I'm giving up my freedom to do it. There's a lot out there. There are people and places and things to see that I will not see if I go back to that forest that has locked itself up.
You sort of... You feel... It's almost like his words are at the tip of his own tongue, and that sort of silence is just sort of stalling in your mind. It's not like the silence of an empty head. It's the silence of something is waiting to be said, but maybe he just doesn't quite have the words for it. And then you just hear him say, "But you carried Rana. You gave up your freedom the moment you decided to take her on.
Yes, but I don't even know her yet."
You will. Because that is the price that all those must pay who carry the weight of those swords. If it wasn't for her, you wouldn't be here right now.
No.
So, small blessings, I guess.
I'm grateful for that. But she is a heavy weight right now. Perhaps in time it will grow lighter.
Perhaps.
I should make sure my brother is ready for this.
He is not.
Yes, I know. I will turn, given that it's probably really loud, the wind on top of a giant vulture soaring at God knows how fast.
Just keep messaging.
Just keep messaging. Three wizards on the back of a giant bay vulture. Like, we can just telepathically talk to each other all damn day.
Yeah, it's not exactly the classic D&D party makeup.
Yeah.
You got the, like, half... You're basically all three in one.
Yeah.
You're a blade singer, so you're a little bit of a fighter and a wizard. Mostly a wizard, but a little bit of a fighter.
Fighter, wizard, rogue,
and
I'm
then
all
rogue.
three. Yeah.
You're just...
Yeah.
You are the D&D party, exactly.
It's because I am the D&D party.
Because I am the D&D party.
Gildor.
Yes, sister.
Are you ready for this?
You mean, am I ready to storm Nixeris and possibly... I don't know. I can only imagine the consequences for doing such a thing.
Yes, but... it will be fun.
You know that when we get back, it won't be easy talking down the council. It won't be easy justifying what we've done. They've already voted for this. As far as they're concerned, everything that's happening here is justified. The ends justify the means.
How many of them have been here, though? How many of them have spent time here?
I believe only the two.
Then none of them really know what they're doing.
No, they don't, and they'd rather not.
Well, then I will remind them.
I think you misunderstand, sister. They are content to leave one eye shut in order to avenge the Merwood. You know it's true. And perhaps a voice like yours would be an agent of change in the Merwood among the council. However, I want you to consider that if we do this, if we go through with this, that may severely hamper your position.
I don't care.
I expected that.
This is not something I could walk past.
I know. And to be quite honest, I no longer want to look past it either. So, you do have my sword with you.
Thank you.
I don't think still we should be doing this, but if we
You
must do it,
You don't need to do the thinking, Gildo. It's alright.
I think I should be the one to do all the thinking. We could have just walked back.
Walked back.
Yes, and avoided all of this.
It would have taken weeks.
Yeah, it would have, you're right.
It would have taken a very long time.
No, I agree.
This is right. This is...
Stupid.
Yes. We're flying there on a giant vulture who also happens to be the king of the Dust Court. But I really just did this for the dramatic entrance, Gildo. You know that,
did you?
right?
Okay.
Yes. I feel like we established that initially.
You can like feel Gilder rolling his eyes
Yes.
at you. Just big arcs on the top of his eyeballs, just all.
But I don't care about the council. I care about the Moonblade, but that can wait. I care about getting back to Lindir. If anything, he is why I did not want to walk back.
I understand that. We may also technically, since we're here in the Emerald Realm, it might... never mind.
What?
Just time passes weirdly here, so we could be taking the same amount of time.
We could.
But that is beside the point. I agree. And again, that's why I can urge you to consider, if you truly have Lindir's interests in your heart, this might not be the course of action we should take. We can work with the Dawn Wizards. They can open the door for us, and we can go through. Don't look at me like that. Look at Gilder like that.
Gilder like that. Tiriel actually turns and looks at him. No. We cannot. If it were you, trapped somewhere, being experimented upon by wizards who have let their own arrogance run away with them, I would not simply walk by because something else is more important. I would give up anything to get you back.
Including Lindir.
That is what we are doing. Oberon does not have another. He has Chrysia. And I will not let her stay there. They are like my family too.
I'm just saying. I don't think it's the thing we should do. But we do endanger our position here. It could just be as easily that as soon as we get back to the Merwood, we're thrown deep in a dark cellar somewhere. And the sword is taken and given to someone else.
You're welcome to try. She barely tolerates me. I doubt she'll let someone else do anything with her.
Tiriel, don't let your own arrogance blind you.
It's not arrogance, Gildo.
Self-righteousness, whatever you want to call it.
Well, we're already on our way, so it's a little late to turn around.
Like I said, I think this is the right thing we should do.
But
You better have a very good argument by the time we get on the other side.
I intend to send my arguments ahead of me.
And perhaps we can avoid, well, killing anyone. Non-lethal damage, if you would. Hear me out.
I will keep it in mind.
They're still Merwood elves,
Yes,
like us.
yes. But what do you think if this knowledge escaped the closely guarded hands of the council? If other elves across the Merwood knew what was being done here?
I don't know. I think perhaps it might do nothing.
I don't think
It's
so.
been a while. You spent a lot of time out of the Merwood. And when you got back, you left again. The Merwood is not a place of... It's not a place of people whose minds are open. And they will gladly shut out this information if it meant, well, if it meant getting revenge for what we just lost and what we have lost. You know it.
Yes, but
You are taking on a monumental task with this progressive approach of yours. But, well, perhaps there are some who maybe have started the work. I hear some things. There are elves in various places who, well, aren't so satisfied to leave things be. And they've begun to do a few things. Not much, but they've done what they could.
it is strange how much my own goals have changed. I left wanting to give us away to do what you tried to do, to march out, but to do it a little more cleverly. And now I just want us to, I don't know, look within. You can't keep throwing yourselves at this. They will throw themselves at this problem until we run out of elves.
Well, we are running out.
That's why it has to change. And I'm angry, and I want to hit some things. If that's how we get back, then so be it.
Like I said, consider non-lethal damage.
I will consider it. Pass it on to Galvana.
Caverna, yes? And they begin talking. You guys are still flying. I would say at this point, do you have anything you want to do? Anything else?
No. I'll get, various things back on a short rest, but
Okay.
that's it.
Well, again, slowly the sky sort of gradually changes to where everything behind you is now twilight. Everything in front of you is dawn. And you keep moving forward and pushing forward until you spot a city at the base of the World Tree. And the entire time, though, that you guys have been flying, you have been flying behind this massive World Tree. Or flying by it, not behind it. And so much so that every time you look at it, it's like you can barely tell if you've really changed position in moving past it. The thing is massive. So anyways, you guys begin your sort of slow descent as Oberon, in his vulture form, begins to tilt and begin descending downward, sort of at an angle. And as you're coming closer to the city, and you can begin seeing the buildings popping up and being more than just sort of dots or silhouettes in the distance, you're watching as there are not many people in town. Really not many people at all. But you do see, from what you can see, you see a few little ant-like figures who at first are looking up into the sky and seeing this big, massive, black shape of Oberon approaching. And they begin to scurry a little bit. So yeah, they begin to scurry. And you're seeing, as you keep going and they're scurrying, you begin seeing them sort of all crowd around and begin to pull in and await your approach. You can see off in the distance this one sort of building that has this sort of reflective surface on it, and you think that might be the Dawnstone, but you're not sure. But as you guys begin lowering in, you hear the voice of Oberon, and he just says, "We have guests." And as soon as he says it, you're noticing white beads of a spell you're very familiar with hurtling through the sky at you. And some of them don't reach you. Some of them detonate prematurely as these giant fireballs just blow up like right in front of you. And then some blow up past you, and Oberon now just begins swerving and swooping and diving to avoid these things. And as you're going, now you guys are about, I don't know, I want to say a good 120 feet as he's, and he is slowly, not slowly, he's very quickly descending. His talons perched out in front of him, and you can see a handful of Dawn Wizards in their sort of white and gold garb standing there waiting for you at the ready. And you see a few of them charging up their fireballs. What are you going to do?
I wanted to sort of scurry up closer to his head and
Okay.
sort of like hang on to like a handful of feathers.
Okay. You're like pinching the feathers like pretty much on the sides of his neck, like, or his cheek feathers. Mm-hmm. You're just like pulling him, his eyes just sort of.
More so, I wanted to sort of feathers on like the back of his head and lean out as he's landing. And I'm going to use. Oh, my card with my staff stuff on it is over there. I'll need that. But I'm going to use thaumaturgy.
Oh, interesting.
Because I can make my voice much louder.
Okay.
And sort of as we're coming in for a landing, I guess there's like a cluster of them all waiting there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I should have thought more about what the baller thing I was gonna yell at them.
Baller thing. I mean, you can go grab that card while you think about it.
Oh yeah, I actually do need that because I know I will need that. Excuse me. Schools. Sneaky guy. It's right here. Oh, there's too many cards. Yeah. Cast thaumaturgy at will. We're like 120 feet.
Yes.
Okay.
You guys are within the range of a fireball.
Yes, we are. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I want to check one other thing that this does. What is... Okay. Cool.
Okay.
It has 8 charges. Cool. Oh, that's concentration. Isn't it? Sorry, I'm sorry.
What is?
Protection from energy?
Does the spell say concentration?
Sorry, I just looked at it and then I immediately forgot.
You know
Concentration up to an hour. I'm really nervous. Yeah. Okay. That makes it more difficult. Yeah. Then just sort of one hand, like, on Oberon. Go ahead and pull the sword out.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry. And just look down at all of them.
Are you gonna thaumaturgy? Are you gonna say something? You gonna try to dissuade them from their course of action, perhaps?
I don't know what to say. I got ahead of myself. Not know what to say. So.
Well, real quick, one thing you notice, and this is gonna impact whatever you decide to do, because as Oberon is coming in, his large shape is casting a shadow, and you're noticing that all the shadows are sort of growing around him, and the sky seems to be permeated with this sort of like, it's almost like it's split or like torn in several different places with this twilight sky, torn with this sort of dawn, the dawnness of this side. And you realize that that's because of Oberon. Oberon he is the Dusk Court. And so, he's sort of bringing this with him, and there's tears in the sky, and you're noticing that all the shadows from all the buildings, all the structures, even the people themselves are growing. And then those shadows begin to give off a faint bit of magical darkness. And the shadow that Oberon casts in front of him as he begins to make his descent with his talons out in front of him, it's all becoming this thick, soupy magical darkness that you actually can't see through at this moment. Unless you activate your Twilight Eyes. You even see one of the Dawn Wizards who casts Fly, and he was at some point, he was flying, and Oberon just catches him right out of the air with one of his taloned feet and just casts him aside, just at a building, and you watch as he just sort of lands and this, like, hits his back and then falls down flat to the ground and stops moving. Yeah. Well, Gilor was suggesting that to you, not to Oberon. Oberon, give a shit less.
So I'm gonna use thaumaturgy.
Okay.
And sort of lean out into like the growing shadows and yell at them all. It's like, your arrogance has brought dusk upon the Dawn Court.
Oh shit! And you watch as Tiriel drops the mic.
Yeah.
Are you? Go ahead and give me an intimidation check.
Cool.
With advantage.
Cool.
Oh shit. Oh wow.
That's a 19 and a 20.
That's a good start. That is a really good start. Wow. First 2 dice rolls.
Yeah, I've been warming these up. I've been holding them in my hand the whole time.
That's right. You have been. Okay. Your intimidation definitely makes them hesitate for a moment longer so that you guys can all land before they cast anything else. And as they land, quickly, you guys essentially are just like, you fall into his space because Oberon immediately transforms into his sort of knighted figure. He stands a good 3 to 4 heads taller than anything else in the vicinity. And he pulls out this large trident that he wields. And he sort of begins spinning it around.
I'm going to activate my Twilight Eyes the second we're on the ground.
Okay. Activate Twilight Eyes. Oberon immediately... What's he got? Yeah, he throws out... well, let's see. How many attacks did he get? He throws out 3. 3 of these twilight sort of orbs, these blasts from his... from the end of his trident. At first just like a point, and then he spins it around and then wings a ball of this sort of twilight energy, this sort of like twilight bolt, if you will, at another enemy. And those 2 guys immediately just fall. And then he brings it down and just goes for an attack on one of the wizards who had come up to him that he closed the distance on. And then you notice that someone from the side of him, a wizard who is now in the sky, is pulling. He's doing the glyphs and configurations for another fireball. And he's about to cast that on Oberon.
Can I yell at Gildor to counterspell it?
You don't want to use your own resources?
No, because that would be my last level spell slot.
Oh my gosh.
Gildor's fresh up though.
Yeah. As soon as you yell it to Gildor, he says, "I'm on it!" And then he does. He counterspells it at 3rd level, because that's all it is.
I have his stats, and I can keep track of that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Because I have stats too. There it is. Yeah, you should totally just...
Oh, I can run Gildor. And
cool.
if we wanted to grab the card for it, I could do Calthena too, because we've got those now.
Oh, yeah. Maybe on the break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, immediately you watch as Gildor then pulls the configuration and sort of sends out this little blast of arc energy that is more of like a mind spike. You know, it's meant to sort of just cut into the thought process of a wizard. However, before Gildor's done doing that, you do see another wizard doing counterspell, and he's looking right at Gildor.
How many times can you chain counterspell?
As many as there are wizards.
Oh, this is ridiculous. That's literally my only 3rd level spell slot. I don't want to use it right now.
You don't have to.
I don't want to. So. Does Calthena have counterspell?
Unfortunately, she does not.
She doesn't?
Her basic stat block, no.
Aw.
I mean, I would assume that she could prepare it, but as far as her stat block goes, she does not have it prepared.
Okay.
She has a couple other things at her disposal. So, as Gildor is doing that, a mind spike hits him, and he's sort of rattled by it, and he staggers a little bit. And as he does, that fireball just goes whizzing right at Oberon. Oberon's gonna need to roll a serve to avoid. How much damage is a fireball at 3rd level?
I don't know, fireball.
66, 86.
I think it's 8.
Okay. Let's see. He's gonna roll.
Fireball. 8d6. Do you want more d6?
I haven't even opened my dice yet.
I have 5. If you want to use those. How many do you need?
I just need. Yeah, I guess I need. Well, no, I got 1, 2, 3. I got 6. So I just need 2 more. I'll just roll these and roll an extra. Okay. So, Oberon's gonna roll his save. Natural 20.
Dope.
So he's gonna succeed on his saving throw. So he'll only take half the damage. That is 3, 4, 7, 13 plus 5. So 18 cut to 9 points of damage.
Did you roll really low?
Yeah, a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, so Oberon takes... you notice that the sort of the flames, as they impact and hit Oberon... oh, never mind. Never mind. You actually notice that when the flame and the fireball comes into contact with Oberon, Oberon just, like, the sheen, his sort of, like, beetle-like exterior, is intact. He doesn't even miss a beat. He just keeps walking through. The flames just sort of bursting and billowing out beside him. He doesn't seem to even be phased.
Cool.
He takes no damage from fire. Yeah, and after that, he doesn't even really look at the person who did that to him. Instead, he begins looking at a number of wizards out in the vicinity. You watch as his eyes, Oberon's eyes, for a moment, there's just a slit forms in his sort of triangular beetle-like helmet, and a little slit forms, and as it does, you see his eyes, and they glare with that same sort of glare that you have, except his is much more potent. And these guys all need to roll wisdom saving throws. So let's see, 2d20s. First 2 fail. Ooh, 1 saves. Fourth one fails. Okay, so 3 out of 5 of those mages that he'd looked at, you can see a lot of the Dawn Wizards, they're all clad in these sort of these yellow, these like gold, red, and white vestments. They sort of like come up. They have this like sort of like neck piece, this neck collar, that sort of goes to a point out at the shoulders, and these arm. Some of them have these little arm bands, and then like little. I don't know what you call them.
Gauntlets.
Gauntlets-ish esque things, but the gauntlets like sort of taper at the top.
Bracers.
Bracers to keep their hands free, and then they sort of fall down in robes towards the bottom. Their boots are just shiny and gold, and he makes 3 of them freeze, and they are currently paralyzed.
Oh.
Oh no. Yeah, paralyzed. Oh, but they do take psychic damage, so they're just done for. You watch as his sort of like his glare. A lot of them. I don't know what you call it. It's almost like a horror movie, but where like it's more like psychological, and the person's just hurting from the psychology of it, like just and just like sort of tearing at themselves in various ways. And that's what these guys do before they just drop over, just puddles of like foam just pooling from the mouth, or blood from the scratches they raked into their cheeks. The ones who did succeed also take damage, but they just seem to hold their head in agony as they then pick themselves back up, and they go to cast spells. So what would you like to do? I
would like to. How far away are they? How far are we?
Any number of distances. Okay. You are noticing that all around. This is just a mad fray at this point.
Okay.
Calthena is casting and slinging spells. Gildor is, he's actually going to cast Fly, Gildor, and then start using his in conjunction with Firebolt and his sword, because he can make an attack and use a cantrip. So he's going to sort of pepper people before he gets to them, and then just take them out with his sword. And you notice each time that he's sort of hitting them with the hilt, just delivering sharp jabs to the temple or the chin, just knock these guys out. Gildor is far more experienced than these guys as far as being both a caster and a warrior. Calthena is going to use a haste on Gildor in a support from a support position, and then start using first level
magic missiles.
So we'll get rid of a first level spot for her and a third level spot.
I would like to stay sort of in every growing pool of darkness. Just sort of dashing around there, and especially anywhere that's magical darkness.
Okay.
And
are you going to activate your Twilight Eyes?
They already are.
Okay.
I did when we hit the ground.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And so just sort of 40 feet of movement, like dashing back and forth, and just any Dawn Wizard I come across.
Okay.
Just make regular sword attacks.
Yeah, a lot of them are beginning to like take flight to sort of get out of the way, but you're able to use shadows that are sort of cast from higher objects to sort of sit in the like the curtain of shadows, sort of cast to the ground. And you wait until one of them comes in a reach, and then you just quickly just pull them in, and then you just deposit the body of a Dawn Wizard out from the shadows. You notice at one point, you sort of quickly dash into another shadow, kind of like you did when you were running after the demon.
Yes.
The demon Vast.
Except sort of I can see this time.
Except you can see. That's right. And you're keeping track of almost everyone in your vision. They're all outlined in various colors. It's sort of this weird vision sight that you're having, because the sky is cut in with darkness and shadow, or that sort of nebulous starry sky, and then there's just the bright abrasive dawn in between that, almost like they're just all like cut into ribbons that are intersecting and crisscrossing in various ways. And everywhere on the ground where there's not shadow, it's very bright. It's very illuminated, and you're seeing everyone sort of outlined in these colors, and someone tries to go after Calthena, and you watch as they begin to cast a familiar spell, or not an unfamiliar spell. you haven't really seen before, but they're beginning to cast this sort of sigil, and they're putting out both their hands in this position, and you're watching as their fingertips are beginning to sort of frost up.
Can I guess, are they close enough for me to just regular Misty Step?
Sure.
Behind them?
Yeah. This is all theater of the mind
cool.
for fun.
Yeah.
Totally. If that's
then
what
I'm
you
gonna
wanna
just use my Misty Step, and just not non-lethal damage.
Oh no.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Cause it's if Tiriel has the time, like, to watch and wait and pick people off, you know, as she's sort of moving in the shadows and waiting for them to be foolish enough to get too close. You know, this is fast. Like, you know, she knows as well as any of the wizards here, like, how fast you can cast a spell.
Anytime that you do damage, you can declare it non-lethal. Okay, yeah, alright, cool. Just to clarify.
She's mad. She's just moving, and she's doing the first thing that she would have thought to do.
So you bam forward over to this character, and as this Dawn Wizard was going to cast this spell, the sort of position of his hands, he sees from his own vision this blade just plunge and sort of cut through, and his hands fall apart and then fall to their sides, and then he slumps off the edge of your blade. And then you go into various positions of fighting. However, that doesn't give you the time to not get caught up in something as well.
Okay.
So, their numbers are dwindling. Oberon is taking care of the vast majority of them. Every ice and fire spell that they use on him, he is just totally immune to. He just walks through. And you're seeing as he is casting those twilight bolts through his trident, and anyone that dares get close enough is just immediately stuck on the end of it. But that sort of beetle-like exterior just seems to shield him from all manner of magics. However, while you actually go ahead and give me a general dex check. Let's see if you can be faster, because you're noticing there is one wizard above you who is beginning to cast a fireball in your direction, and he's just sort of one of the stragglers that isn't being taken care of by anyone else.
18.
18, okay.
Just a regular dex check.
Yeah.
Yeah, 18.
So he rolled 21, so he's going to go before you.
Okay.
So he will get the chance to cast Fireball unless you want to do anything about that.
I will let him
or
cast.
Or have one of your other teammates do something about that. Which, I guess your only control teammate.
Yeah, if it's just going to stack multiple counter spells, I only have one, so...
Well, at this point, you can give me a retroactive perception test, if you'd like.
16.
Okay. Yeah, you're not... This guy is sort of... This is a last-ditch effort on his part, and a lot of them are, at this point, are scattering. Any of them who are still alive are scattering.
There's a bug.
Any of them who are still alive at this point are scattering, so, you know, you don't imagine that he's going to have much aid if you decide to counterspell. You don't think it'll devolve into the chain of counterspells.
Okay. Then I will... I guess it feels weird. Can I just have Gildor counterspell it?
You can, yeah, totally. Because Gildor is active in the fight, and he is generally watching over you.
Okay. Then I'm going to have him counterspell.
Especially from up on high.
Oh, that's right. He's still flying around, hasted, flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I will have him counterspell.
Okay.
Fireball.
Cool. Yeah. So immediately as that guy begins to do it, and you just watch, his eyes are angry, but he is also very afraid, and this seems to be just a last-ditch nervous effort. And as he goes to cast that mind spike hits him, and also it takes him out of his flying. And so he immediately plummets to the ground, and Gildor just swoops in and is immediately on top of him, just grabs him by the collar, the little cuff that he wears, and just takes a solid punch just right to the temple and just knocks him out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tiriel just sort of watches.
Yeah. Just the force from holding the hilt of the blade and having the sort of weight behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just knocks this guy out. Yeah. And then Gilroy sort of steps up and he observes the scenery. You're seeing just it's like there was a half of this little like inner thoroughfare of Nyxeris where, you know, basically it was you, Kathleen, and Gilder on one side, and then it was Oberon on the other. And there are a lot more bodies on Oberon's side, as he just took care of twice the amount of people that you did. And he doesn't have a scratch on him. And I actually looked it up because I was like, wow, what spells do they have? The only thing that could maybe hurt him is Magic Missile. But why would they use that? They have better spells, but none of those better spells work on him. Yeah.
Just desperately firing, pew, 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 magic missiles at Oberon.
Yeah. It's like, you know, any anime where they're just like the heroes hopelessly like throwing all their might at the god tier character, and he's just like not even phased. But yeah, so you're now in the middle. There's a few, a few of them that are still alive, left alive by Gildor, Kalthena. There are a lot who are not alive, taken out by either you or Oberon. Did you only kill the one? Okay, so explicitly you only killed the one. You're now noticing, though, around you, and you've seen this city before, but Nyxeris is definitely the sort of, it's elven construction, but not done in trees. It actually reminds you a lot of the sort of construction that you saw in Palaven. A lot of the stonework is similar to Palaven. It's a sort of graceful, arcing spires or little abodes that seem to be very, not necessarily geometric, more so free-forming, made of shapes that have a lot of curvature to them, that have a lot of bend, that sort of, if were hit wouldn't be just static walls, they would sort of, things would wrap around them essentially. So yeah, very, very graceful construction. A lot of it seemed to haven't been done to like perfect detail, although a lot of the city has fallen into disrepair. And now you are standing amidst this chaos and rubble, and you see Oberon in his big form just walking with very purposeful steps, and he's actually going, I believe, to the east. Yeah, he's going eastward towards where he believes the Dawnstone is.
I will follow him.
Okay. You follow him. Kalthena and Gilder catch up to you. Kalthena sort of, well, I didn't expect this summer trip. I was hoping to do more sightseeing of this side of...
Oh, well.
And this, I didn't expect the welcome party that we got.
We have a little bit of a walk to our next location, so feel free to sightsee.
I don't know. I'm kind of burnt out on sightseeing. And you notice she's saying that as she's like just sort of like dusting off some like singed marks on her robe. Does everywhere I go with you have to be this much fun? Just a question.
You are having fun though.
Yes, all the fun. It's not like I would much rather be home exploring the summer court or having nice warm bowls of soup.
I think there will be time for rest, and I appreciate you coming with me.
Yes. At first I thought I owed you one.
No.
Yes, I know.
No.
Yep, I know. I'm aware. It's absolutely not the case anymore.
Kathleen, I lived in your house for months.
Right, but you also did me a great service.
Yes, by doing something for myself as well. This was all a very one-sided exchange, and I am, and will be very much in your debt.
Well...
I'll let you stay at my house.
Interesting.
It's been around for a while. I assume...
Oh, you're like home? Yeah, totally. I mean, you're not as well versed in it, but your family has a long lineage behind it. A lineage you're not quite sure of, and your father's been sort of tight-lipped about. And it's dwindled a lot to where you guys are sort of the last remaining branch. But yeah, you do have an impressive lineage behind it, and of course an estate.
Yeah.
Of course an estate.
I mean, it's a wizard's tower that's been in a family for generations.
Generations.
I mean, you had a lovely tower, Kathena, but ours was grown into a tree nearly as old as this world in the heart of Palavin.
All right,
Pyrrhavin.
well...
They're so similar. I
This
don't know
wasn't a
who named
competition.
this. It wasn't, but I'm just
always-
telling you that whatever small thing I can do to repay you, you will at least have a comfortable place to stay.
Good. All sarcasm aside, however, I'm not sure what we're going to find in this place, but just be aware of my skill set, and if you need anything, just let me know.
Can do.
So, you guys continue up until you begin to see this large, massive, actually, geode, like half-cut geode. It seems like someone just sort of took a hammer and just cracked it, and just one part fell off, while the other...
Says the person who recently learned about geodes.
Don't say that! Don't say that! Why you gotta call me out? On camera! What the heck? What are you doing? What are you doing? You motherfucker.
It adds the moment that you already had this great visual in mind, and then you get to add
Now I lost it.
process.
You know what you're looking at? You're looking at a poop. A giant poop. That's what it is, a giant poop. A mountain of poop.
My favorite mountain of poop.
Yep, in the mountain of poop, it got a little hole in it, and there's a beetle there. He lives there, and he says, my poop. Yeah. End decision. Goodbye.
Whew. Sorry. I'm here for the visuals though. I'm walking into a giant geode.
Yes!
It's really cool.
Okay, a giant geode, where essentially a piece of it was cracked off, fallen, and then, nope, not what I want. And then there's a large stone wrought entrance, essentially. A piece of construction that is absolutely made to be an entrance, and it's sort of similarly styled in all the elven construction. It sort of it starts from the beginning and sort of goes up into this nice tapered point up at the top. There's all this sort of golden trim work on it, gold and white and red, similar to the colors of the vestments you saw the Dawn Wizard's wearing, sort of interspersed among this just gray stonework. And then in that is just a giant open door. It doesn't seem like there are actual, any doorways. It's just an open entrance that you can just step right on into. And Oberon he's marching, and his pace is much faster than yours. Mm-hmm. His steps alone, one step for him is like 3 steps for you guys. And he's just making his way in. This long stride.
Do you think they know we're coming?
Who are you asking?
Anyone. They're sort of asking into the air.
Yes. and then you hear the voice of Oberon in your mind once again. Because as he has his helmet on, his mouth has been covered. In fact, his eyes are always covered unless that slit just appears in the armor. And he says, "Be ready. We don't know what we'll find in here. I'm not quite sure, but I sense power in this place. Be wary." So, fuck's not the music.
Mm-mm. It's okay, Bo.
So, you guys enter into that large entryway. At first, it's just stone construction on either side of you, but eventually, you make it inside the structure. There's a lot of light. It seems like they went out of their way to create all this light. And sometimes it's in the form of these sort of permanent spells, like dancing lights that just seem to move in sort of in patrol-like fashion of various places. Or just these sort of arcane lamps that are embedded in the walls. But there's a lot of good light in here. And as you guys sort of exit through that first entryway, you pop open to a larger room where there are, at first glance, so there's sort of like, it's a big, about 40 feet wide, and about 45 feet across. And there's a Dawn Wizard guard. This one looks a little bit different. This one has a helmet. He also has blades. But he is sort of, he's guarding a doorway to your right. And then the hallway just continues down. And as he sees you, he draws both of his blades and goes to act. But do you want to do something?
I was going to say something, but...
Oh, what do you want to say? Because Oberon is now lifting his trident.
I'll let him.
He just points his trident in a very lackadaisical fashion, and you watch as this soldier collapses to the ground, and then just and then this wine is falling from his lips and hitting the ground. And Oberon just keeps the staff pointed at him, as now you're watching his face change colors from the sort of pale toned flesh to bereft of air, blue, and then purple. And it's just getting worse as he's just coughing all this up, but he can't stop. He can't inhale. Every time he tries, he just vomits up more of this wine. And Oberon just keeps staring him down, and just the very tips of his trident just sort of follows his descent as this man just slowly crumples into a pool of his own vomit.
I wonder and then stop it.
You just hear a gasp from Calthena. She's like, that's one way to do it.
They will know. They will know who came. They will know who did this. And hopefully it will serve as a warning.
I hope. Anyways, Oberon, this is when he turns to you and he looks at you and Calthena and Gildor says, I will go straight down the hallway. You guys can take this door and see what you find. I will be in contact. If you find my sister, well, send me a message.
Very well.
So, yeah, you guys see these double sort of wooden doors in front of you. They do have these like slight little windows in front of them. Oberon didn't really take a chance to examine them. But they're these small little sort of windows with this style of glass that almost, it obscures it a little bit inside, but you do see this faint glow of pink light coming from that direction.
Sort of drag the dead guard out of the way of the doors.
Yeah. I mean, Gildor helps you. You know, you grab like his like breastplate, and Gildor grabs like his ankles, and you guys just drag him, throw him into some corner. Calthena the entire time is just like, you guys saw that, right?
Yes.
I just hope that never happens to me. I thought only those... No, never mind.
If that is the most upsetting thing you see today, I will call it a good day. And I'm gonna peek through the glass and see if I can discern anything through it.
Give me a perception test. Wow.
That one on my nose.
And die like the guard did.
19.
19? Okay. You can definitely see through it. You can see that the faint pink glow is actually from the walls of this next room that you're about to enter.
Oh.
It seems like it's also made of it's made of this sort of geode-like crystal lattice structures, but it's all pink on the inside. It's sort of pinkish red. It sort of leans more towards the red side. The room looks pretty big. It looks about as wide as the room you're currently in, although it does seem at the widest point, because it's just sort of this rough-hewn shape of just a circular interior. It does seem at the widest point it's maybe 55 feet instead of the 45. But it seems to go about another 45 feet away from you, and you can't make out too many details. You do see some wizards on the inside, because no one's really been alerted to your guys' presence yet. But you do see a few. You see two mages on the inside, two dawn wizards. And you're noticing that they're sort of peering over something. You can't quite make out what it is just because of the sort of stained texture of the glass. But you do also see a cylindrical staircase that seems to wind.
Up or down?
It seems like only down.
Okay. Yeah. Can I... Doors, can I discern sort of how, like, are they big, like,
they're
handles?
Big, heavy wooden doors.
Gotcha. Well, you said two?
Yes.
Okay. There are two more dawn wizards in there.
Right.
Do we go in quickly? Do we attempt to be sneaky?
I'm not particularly sneaky, sister, but I will follow your lead. As will I. I'll follow your lead.
I am going to, because I want to, okay.
You deciding on a course of action?
Yes. I am. Why?
All right.
Why?
Just
I was just wondering why I'm just sitting here in silence.
Okay.
Tiriel's gonna kind of look between the two of them and assess the fact that she knows they're not particularly sneaky.
I mean, Gildor is definitely a little more sneaky than Calpena is, but not too much more.
Well, that would have been cool.
Well, Gildor's damage output is wrong.
Is it?
Yeah, it says 1d8 plus 3.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, I think I noted that actually when I.
Oh, no, never mind. That's right. That is right.
Dex.
Yep, his dex is plus 2, and technically his weapon's like a plus 1.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we could go in with deception. Gildor motions to the man dead. I could easily put on his wares, and not too convincing, but I'm assuming if I just stay casual enough, they won't ask.
Well, it would at least give you a reason to open the door. That's all I need.
Okay.
So,
You
help
helped me to do it.
Yes.
I was hoping you would actually be against that.
No, that's actually an excellent idea. I was going to do it
never
myself,
suggest.
but you
I
said
mean,
a moment ago that you
you
should
could-
be doing all
no,
the thinking. Let's go. I'm going to start pulling off pieces of his robes and armor.
I'm going to stay a lot more silent from now on. Yes, so he does begin putting on the vestments of this soldier. He definitely didn't seem like one of the wizards. He seemed more like a blade singer, actually. But he begins to put on those vestments, and he's got the flashy gold white. Except a lot of the Dawn wizards you've noticed are the sort of sun elf variety.
Mm-hmm.
Some are not. Some are wood elves. Some are moon elves. Although you haven't really seen many moon elves, but they're all the sort of tanned green eyes, like bright green eyes that you're used to with sun elves. And Gildor is like the opposite of that. His skin is sort of dark and pale at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like soot. You know, his skin is almost the color of like soot and ash.
Mm-hmm.
And he just has these very pale eyes. Yeah, so he does not fit the bill at all.
You said this guy was wearing a helmet, though?
He was wearing a helmet, yes.
Sort of.
But the helmet is sort of like, it just has like the sort of nose bridge, and then it has like the pieces that come down. But it wouldn't cover his whole face.
It's enough.
All right, I'll get this over with. So what is your plan? Am I just to open the door?
Yes.
Okay. Again, you notice that they're those characters that you saw. They may have moved positions at this point, but when you did see them, they were both clumped together.
They're sort of hunched over something, you said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just need a reason for the door to open.
All right. Well, here goes nothing. He puts his hand on the handle. He presses down upon it, and then he pushes the door open. And as he does, he enters, and they both whip their heads around and look up at him. And yeah, they just see the guard. You know, let's see.
If I wait half a second, I want to see what happens.
The guards have. Let's see. There's a passive perception of 11. So I will have Gildor roll a deception check.
Cool. Does he have a negative or?
Ooh, he's got nothing on it.
He's got nothing.
Nothing. I mean, he can do performance, but that wouldn't really matter because I rolled a 3.
Oh,
well, actually, I'm sorry. You can roll for this. You roll for him.
He's my brother. I can fuck it up for him. I rolled an 18. Hey, I'm the one who rolled this terrible stealth check against the Hydra, so I can get this one.
All right, cool. Yeah, he walks in. They both turn their heads, and they then turn back to their work.
Once the doors open, I want to sort of from the edge of the door. Can I get a better idea? This is all very brightly lit.
Yeah. So now that you're inside, you get a better idea, and you even hear Gildor mutter in his breath, says, "My gods!" And as he does, you understand why, because as you peer into the room, go ahead and give me a stealth check though, just in case. What'd you get?
It's a natural 1.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
It's
It's an 11 total, plus 10 to my stealth.
It's now.
So,
for funness and flavor.
Cool.
You go to get a look and see what Gildor is sort of exclaiming at. But as you do, your hand slips in all the vomity wineness.
Not on the floor?
I imagine that you're crouched down, and that's how we're playing this out. You can either slip on your hand or slip on your foot.
I mean, I was just... no, that's good.
Because I imagine you're trying to be sneaky. So getting down a little bit, minimizing, your mass.
I was just going to sort of peek around the door.
Okay, well then you peek around the door.
Yeah.
And a very similar thing happens. Your foot slips in the wine vomit that Oberon just used to kill the guard with.
Cool.
And as it does, you slip and you go straight on your ass. And as you land, both the wizards look up and they see you sort of on your butt. They also see Gildor then sort of just trying to walk through and be casual. And they say, "Oi, you there? What are you doing? Do you see her? She shouldn't be in here." And then Gildor's like, "Me?" And turns around and sees you. What do you want him to do?
Have him just
Play cool.
Yeah, walk back to me. He rolled an 18 on his deception. He's playing it pretty cool.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, yeah.
He turns around with the practiced ease of one of the many actors who would
Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, perform in like elven amphitheaters and stuff. And he looks at you and he says, "Yes, what are you doing here? You, come with me."
I'm gonna use message as he's talking.
Okay.
What's in there?
You'll see soon enough. And he picks you up by the arm and he yanks you hard. And you're like, you flail with it a little bit. And as he yanks you by your wrist and by your upper arm to bring you in here, he's sort of like, you then get a full view of the room. And you see inside, this is where various fae are being trapped. And you notice that those two Dawn Wizards were actually in front of this sort of floating crystal that is clear, but you notice it has like the lattice structure of crystal. It's sort of suspended, and underneath you notice this like sort of small stone dais that keeps them suspended in this sort of animated crystal. And you see inside the one that they're looking at, you see this sort of wispy pixie, like the size of a pixie, a small creature with these ghost-like wings that almost remind you of cobwebs. And they sort of have a like suppressed bright sheen about them. Small. And you notice there's another one across the room. But this one's a little bit bigger, and it encages this sort of creature that looks almost like a dryad, except half of its being is like actual tree. And the other parts of it, it's just sort of like, it sticks out of that tree, sort of almost like a cancerous growth on the tree. And its arm is this giant scythe-like bladed thing. Its skin is this sort of sickly, mottled blue. And then you see, what was it? You see another one suspended. Dang it, I had 3 examples, but I can't remember. Poop.
That's okay, Paul.
You see another creature of various size, shape, and temperament, and it is of a Fey origin. And then you also see a bunch of other contraptions. You see various sort of arcane technology, if you will, in here. It actually reminds you of the orrery that you saw in Palaven, except these sort of have almost like an arcane generator. So there's sort of this like constant hum to the whole entire room, and you're seeing that there are sort of these in the middle of the room. There's these like platforms, interfaces, if you will, and they have a lot of magical sigils in them, similar to how the Demolitionist did his demolition. And you're seeing that they are also working with their own glyphs, sort of at this crystal. And you're seeing a little creature inside just sort of cringing in various ways. You can't hear anything. You don't get any audio from what is going on, but she seems to be in various states of stress. And then Gildor begins leading you down the stairs into this room. There's sort of stairs that sort of curl around the edges and then sort of meet towards the middle, about 15 feet in. They sort of just they splinter off the sides and they curve their way back in. So he's just pulling you in, and they're just both looking at you and they're saying, "Where are you from? What are you doing here?"
I'm gonna sort of be looking around, like, both in like genuine horror and sort of like confusion.
Well, if she won't talk, I guess we'll have to lock her up. She can't leave after what she's seen here. Guard, will you go ahead and just bring her down to the...
Within 60 feet.
Yeah, you are. Easily.
I'm gonna...
I mean, this whole room is not 6 feet across.
Oh, okay, cool. once we're a little bit closer.
Uh-huh.
Is how close?
You're currently going down the stairs, and they're sort of in the lefternmost corner of this room. All the contraption stuff's in the middle, but you are going down that left staircase.
Okay.
Because Gildor was sort of making a beeline towards them.
Okay. Then once we get sort of close to the bottom of the stairs, Tiriel's gonna go from looking around to looking at them. And she's just gonna sort of, like, reach out and snap her fingers and cast Toll the Dead.
Oh, both of them?
Oh, it's one of them.
I mean, they're 5 feet apart. Oh, but Toll the Dead doesn't do that. You're not a cleric.
Yeah, no.
Of something.
Of something. They have to make a save.
Okay, cool.
So they get the chance to save against it. It does nothing if they save.
All right. I'd like you to go ahead and roll me initiative with advantage.
Okay.
They're not going to really be surprised, but I'll let you have your action, and then we'll just go into initiative for everyone. I also don't have my initiative cards. Wrong with me?
What is wrong with me?
That's shit. Rolled with
What?
advantage, and I rolled a 6 and a 1. Should I roll initiative for Gildor right now, too?
Yes.
His is 11.
Okay, I'll roll for the mages. The mages rolled a 3 plus 2, so that's 5. So what was your total?
My total is a 9.
What's Gildor's?
11.
Oh, nice. Gildor's going to go ahead of you. You also get to roll me one more initiative, this time without advantage.
Well, I mean, did Gildor have advantage?
No, you had
Okay.
advantage because you were definitely acting first.
Okay.
You were deliberately acting before everyone else.
Is that for Kalthena?
No, I'm rolling for Kalthena.
Who am I rolling for?
Kalthena got a 10. You're rolling for your second spot in initiative.
Oh, that's right. Haven't done that in a while.
Well, actually,
There's...
you have allies.
I have allies.
So I'll
I'm
say
not by
at
myself
this
in
point,
this one.
you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So then that's it. Well, again, that was better than my first one.
All right. So they rolled a 3 plus 2. That's a 5. So they're going at the end. All right. So with you doing Toll Dead, what do they need to do? Save?
Yes, whichever one.
What is the save?
It's a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. I'll go ahead. There are 2 of them. One has long black hair that's sort of pulled up into a ponytail that sits on the top of his head. So it sort of curls over and just sort of drifts to his mid back. The other one has an entirely bald head, and his pointed ears just sort of jut out from his dome. And he's got these piercing blue eyes. The other one has these sort of orange amber glowing eyes. So which
I'm
one?
gonna target the bald one because he looks dumb.
Baldy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumb Baldy. What was I thinking making him bald? I failed him.
Just made him a target.
Okay, so that's wisdom save.
Yeah.
You roll 21.
Oh fuck yeah. Jesus. No damage.
No damage. So
It's a
you
cantrip.
go to Toll the Dead, and he immediately just instinctively forms another sigil that sort of wards off the necrotic damage. With that being said, Gildor is at the top of the round.
Cool.
And Gildor just immediately releases your arms and pulls out his blade.
Cool. I'll just have him do his sort of bread and butter of firebolt and a sword attack.
Do you want him to activate his blade song?
Yes.
Just remember that he
Yeah,
has to
'cause
activate it
he
first
is-
before he gets the AC bonuses.
Yep.
And like you, he never wears real armor. And we'll say for the purposes of this, the armor that he has on doesn't really count.
Yeah.
He wears like leathers, but he doesn't
Not
factor
real
that into his armor
No.
calculation. He goes to mage armor.
Yep.
Just like
Because it's 12, 15 with mage armor, 18 with blade song. So I have that written down.
yeah.
So yeah, activate his blade song as he pulls it out, and sort of from the blade itself, kind of the same way that Tiriel does a lot of
Nice,
stuff. Just
nice.
sort of like spits out a.
Nice.
I'm doing it left-handed. Gildor's apparently left-handed.
Sure.
And sort of spits out a firebolt at the first one, and then moves in and slashes at the second guy.
Yeah. He reaches and immediately he pulls out his blade, and without even sort of doing any inherent casting or anything, much as he activates his blade song, you hear this sort of beautiful melody of fire as it just builds from the hilt of his blade, and then slowly as he arcs it out into this slash motion, it builds and billows from the very tip, and this firebolt just comes out, and he slings it at Baldy.
Yeah, just
Baldy,
him first.
Go.
And then...
Go ahead and make an attack.
Okay. Yeah, that's, Gildors would be, 17?
17 is a hit.
17. Cool. And that would be, I assume... Yeah. Wait, what level is Gildor? Yeah, 9th level. That's
Oh
what
yeah,
it is.
9th, yeah.
So it's 2d10.
Nice.
10, 11 points of fire damage.
Nice.
Cool. And then he will just make a regular sword attack against the other guy.
Okay. So, well, he needs to be down there. Does he have the speed? How much speed does he have?
He has 40 feet with his blade song.
Okay. I'll say...
You said the room was like 45 feet.
Yeah,
max.
he should have enough. He should have enough.
Yeah.
Even if he went down the stairs, but he should have enough. I imagine he sort of like hops over the railing and lands like right in front of him and gets up and then makes his second slash. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and roll me attack.
Oh, yeah, that's a natural 18.
Nice. Okay, cool. That's a hit.
Plus 8, so yeah. D8 plus 3. 9 points of damage on the other guy.
9 points of damage. Woo! Hot shots. Hot shots.
Yep.
All right. So is that it for
That
Gildor's turn?
is Gildor's turn.
All right. So now it is your turn, Tiriel.
Tis my turn.
Yeah. What would you like to do?
I would like to activate my own blade song.
Yes.
And
What's your AC right now?
22. And just use my full movement to get up to them and just make 2 sword attacks.
Okay. You pull out your own longsword. Mm-hmm. Yours and Gildor's longswords are very similar. Mm-hmm. Like they were definitely made in the same time period, made by the same person, made for the same family. So, go ahead and make your attacks.
Cool. I'll just roll twice. I'm gonna do my first attack on the guy that he already hit the sword attack.
Okay.
10.
Those both hit.
Those both hit.
Yep.
And the
Since you're having
first
trouble with math.
one, I know. I'm sorry. Normally I'm better at this, but
Who are you hitting?
I want to hit both of them. So I want to hit the guy.
Spreading the love. Got it.
Yeah. So it's a D8 plus 4d6 of sneak attack damage on the first guy because Gildor's right next to him.
Which one is the first guy?
The guy with hair, because that was the
Guy with
second one
hair.
that he
Got
hit.
it.
He threw the cantrip at the bald one.
I mean, if he rushed up to both of them, he could technically be adjacent to both of them.
I'll hit this guy with the
hair.
with all the
Hair
sneak
guy.
attack damage. Not so great. 2, 4, 8, 10, 11, 14, 15
points of damage
to
Ooh,
him.
baby.
And then my second attack will just be a D8 on the bald guy.
Okay. Nice. Not bad.
7, 8, 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. All right. Both of them are fairly hurt.
Dope.
As you guys immediately just rushed up and just started taking large chunks out of them with your blades. Calthena, whose turn it is now, unless there was any sort of bonus action or anything. Did you
bonus
blade
action?
song?
Yes.
You did?
Yes, because you asked what my AC was.
Got it. She's gonna go ahead. She can't really fireball.
Please don't.
She could do a magic missile. She could just attack.
Yeah. She could also just hold an action in case, she needs it.
That's why I don't like playing both sides.
Yeah. I mean, I could, I'm getting back in the swing of it. I could play her as well if you want me to after the break. Actually, I need to Gildor's stats up and write notes later.
She's gonna launch a magic missile. At Baldy. However, Baldy is going to shield.
it. Yep.
So she sticks out She pulls out her staff, slams on the ground, and as she does, she forms the sigils sort of at the top where her crystal's at, and you watch as it lights up in this purplish glow and launches out all of these darts of magic missile. And these darts go and search for their target, and they go for Baldy, but as they do, he performs a shield as he's beginning to sort of pull back his hands to conjure against you. Well, first, they're both going to misty step out of there. They go to opposite sides of the room. One of them goes towards the crystal where that... he goes in like sort of the left corner, and then he runs a little bit to get all the way into that corner. So I would say with where you're both at, he's... He's about 60 feet away from you guys.
Oh,
just sort of like
bigger
diagonally. Well, it's a very rough hewn shape, so there's a little, the corner that he's in like sort of rounds off to give him a little bit of extra room to move. So he's about 60 feet away now. The other one bamfs towards the door, and he goes and he pulls it shut. And as he does that, he then turns around to Calthena, and he opens up his hands. You watch as the sigil that he forms, his fingers begin to glow with that sort of cold glow to them.
Do I recognize it?
You can give me an Arcana check.
Okay.
If you'd like.
That is a 26.
Okay. You recognize this as a cone of cold.
Okay. So...
Pull out my spell book. Wow, I flipped right to the cone of cold page. That's hilarious.
Oh, I'm looking for something else. Oh, that's not a reaction spell, so that doesn't matter. And it's their turn right now, right?
Yep, it's their turn.
Okay. I am going to... I'm gonna counterspell that.
You are?
Yeah.
At what level?
I'm gonna burn one of my 4th levels.
Oh, you're gonna burn one of your 4th
Because
levels?
it casts at 5th.
You're right. It will, and that ends the argument. Okay,
Yeah.
that absolutely counters it.
Yeah. So Tiriel sees it, sort of recognizes that she can't kill this one.
Right.
And just sort of like one hand like back onto the staff.
Nice.
Sort of grabs it.
By the way, do you have Miri with you?
Yes.
I haven't really discussed Miri.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's just sort of always
She's
like
always hanging out on your staff.
in my like on my staff or just on my pack.
Or yeah, on your back. Got it.
Yeah.
Where's Miles?
We're terrible at keeping track of Miles.
Maybe
Lost track of Miles when he.
Miles just go air filled
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know, we'll see.
Miles is running around Nixeris. He's following Oberon.
He's looking for shoes. Yeah, he follows Oberon. Oberon likes the little spider.
That's where he was before. I never told him to go anywhere. So he's like, I'll just keep following him and pulling shoes off dead people. Yeah. You can roll for how many pairs of shoes Miles has in his compartment when we track him down again.
Nice.
Nice. But anyway.
I just might. So by the way, just for clarification, her staff of the Noble Red Lion allows her to, she casts all abjuration spells at a level higher than what she actually casts them at.
So I can cast it at 4th level.
And it'd be a 5th level.
And it's a 5th level.
Which counters a 5th level Cone of Cold.
Yeah. So she
All
just
right.
sort of like grabs it with one hand and like just sort of like pulls the counter spell out of it.
Nice,
and
yeah.
sort of like I'm picturing it like sort of pulls the energy out of the staff and like grabs sort of that like mental connection to the guy and like just sort of tugs on it.
Nice.
Just enough.
Yeah. You notice his concentration falter and break for just a moment as he feels that sort of tug and he winces. And he looks at you and he sees that you were the one that broke that concentration. And as he looks at you, he's just like, fuck. Because he realizes he's in some trouble. And that's all he can do with his turn. The other guy, though, however, looks at both you and Gildor, though. And he begins doing that familiar sigil. You're watching as he's about to cast a fireball.
You had Gildor fly, so he's out of 3rd levels.
Oh,
But
right.
he has 4th levels.
It's
He'll
up to you.
counterspell at 4th level.
Oh, you just counterspell?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 4th level, that takes care of that. Gilder counterspells at 4th level. Yeah. So that is no longer an issue.
Just sort of like mold,
cut.
like icy spells that just fizzle. Fire spells that just fizzle.
Oh, well, you know what? Let's see. This guy is going to bring up his other hand, and he's going to counterspell. He's going to counterspell your counterspell. At 3rd level, so he's going to have to roll to see. But it's a reaction.
Can you do that?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a spell. I guess.
You can cast 2 spells in 1 turn, so long as one is not a bonus action spell.
I guess, but the spell level, isn't there like a conflict of spell level?
Nope, not in the rules.
Really?
Yeah, I actually looked at that. Yeah. So the place where you might be getting that from is from Critical Role, where it's become sort of a popular house rule. But the rules say...
Or Alex has done it.
Alex does it too, I think.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to cast 2 spells at once unless you're in this very specific scenario with Counterspell, because Counterspell is a reaction spell. And so you can cast it and another spell at the same time.
All right.
If you want, I will check.
It's fine. I don't. You don't have to. Just for the pacing, I'd rather just go.
Well,
but
I mean,
that's
I'm
fine.
already
You're already doing it. This is really peppy music for this fight.
Oops. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, there's literally nothing saying that you can't cast 2 spells at once. Unless you cast a bonus action spell, then the spells you cast after that must be a cantrip. And the casting time must be a 1 action.
Weird, okay. I will need to reacquaint myself with that then.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So he's going to cast that. He will also need to roll.
Mm-hmm.
He will need to make a... Shoot.
He'll have to beat a 14, won't he? Isn't it
He'll
10
beat a
plus the
14.
spell's level?
I believe he adds something to it though, right? Damage creature in the process. Okay. Yeah, using your spellcasting ability. So he will add his intelligence, which gets a +3. So he needs to roll at least an 11. And he rolls in that 1.
Ooh.
So he tries to counterspell Gilder's counterspells. He's trying to defend both you and him from this fiery onslaught. And as this guy goes to counterspell it, though, he smiles for a moment as he thinks that he's got you.
Is this the bald guy?
This is the bald guy.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh wait, no.
That's hard to keep
No,
track
Baldy
of.
went up top. This is
Okay.
the black hair guy. He thinks he's got you, but then he realizes that Gildor's magic overpowers his own. And so cuts through his counterspell like a knife, and so his fireball just immediately, the little bee just fades from existence. All right, and that's their turn. We're now back up to Gildor.
Okay.
Wow, you have definitely used a lot of resources to stop all damage.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still doing pretty good. Who's closer, I guess, and distance? Because the one guy's like 60 feet up at the door. And then the guy who's down here closer to us, how far away is he?
So the guy next to Calthena is actually closer to you guys. Because he's sort of just like right behind you. I mean, going back up the stairs would be
I thought
like
he was 60 feet away.
5.
Or I guess
5,
the guy
10,
in the
15,
corner
20,
is 60 feet
30.
away.
Yeah, the guy up the stairs, depending on how you go up, if you decide to clamber over things, if you take the most direct path, he's about 30 feet. The guy on the other side of the room, he's about 60 feet. He both bamfed and used his movement.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time keeping track of it because it's not just like a flat space. that I'm maneuvering
it's
through.
not,
There's
yes.
stairs, and I have a hard time knowing how far I can go.
You can get to bald guy at the top.
Okay.
How much movement do you have?
Gildor will have 40 feet of regular movement.
Okay. How much do you have?
Same.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
yes, you'll be able to get to the guy at the top.
Yeah, because Blade Song gives us an extra 10 feet.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah.
Speed increased by 2. Yeah. Okay. It's Gildor's turn then?
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. Then I'm going to have him, yeah, that, cantrip and sword attack thing is a really nice combo.
Mm-hmm.
What's the range on Firebolt? Do you know off the top of your head?
Firebolt, I believe, is it's either 60 or 120. I think it's 120.
122, but I can't remember. I have that one. 120. Cool. Then he is gonna run up to the guy at the top, the closer one, and he's gonna throw his firebolt down at the other guy and make the sword attack against this one.
Okay, cool.
So the ranged firebolt attack. That's what do I add to that for him? That's a spell attack modifier, right?
Yeah.
So that would be
Plus proficiency.
6 plus 6, that'd be 17.
17's the hit.
Cool. Haha, 2 7s. That's 14 points of damage on the firebolt.
Nice. He is looking very hurt. The firebolt just blasts him in the chest, and he immediately is rocked and is sent, his back hitting the door behind him. He's looking pretty hurt.
Gildor sort of like throws that at him without really looking at him and just makes a sword attack against the other guy.
Oh, wait, how much was it?
14.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, that guy's really hurt. So, no, that wasn't the door guy. My bad. That was the guy. He's sort of behind the crystal entrapment that's holding that scythe creature.
Okay.
So, yeah, but he was blasted.
Okay.
He's looking hurt, too. Yeah, they're both looking hurt.
So then...
Sword attack on this guy.
This guy, whichever guy this is.
This is Baldy.
Okay. It's really hard to keep track of these. 12 plus
6?
8.
8? That's it.
Yeah. Just a D8. 8 points of damage.
Nice. All right.
Just, you know.
Gildor slashes him, but he takes the brunt of this damage with his arm. Just sort of uses, but he's got that little bracer on it, so it sort of just collides against the metal. Definitely cuts into it a little bit, but not enough that he looks really wounded. However, the other wounds he's taken, I mean, he's definitely bloodied at this point. All right, so now it's your turn.
It's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to... They both look pretty badly wounded.
Yes.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to sort of sword still at the ready, look between them. My brother has asked me not to kill anyone here. I will give you one chance for me to follow through on that. I would hate to disappoint him.
So are you essentially trying to persuade them to stop fighting?
Yes.
Okay. You're gonna go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Cool. I'm not proficient in those, but I'm not bad at them. We'll see how this goes.
Was that a persuasion or intimidate?
That one.
Nat 1?
Yep.
No.
Intimidation would, or no, that's actually worse.
Yeah, they look at you and they spit and they say, "You're the intruder here. You're the one who is going to die."
Cool. Neat.
Real cool, guys.
Then I will... I'll just go up to the one who Gildor's on to, because he's in range.
Mm-hmm.
Me and just my movement.
Sure.
And I will make 2 attacks.
Yeah, I mean, you were like, essentially, you know, in the theater of the mind, the way this happened is you spoke those words before Gildor ever moved. And when they were like decided that they would rather just die on this hill, Gildor's were like, well, they've given me permission essentially.
Yeah.
And so he dashed up and you dashed up immediately, and you both went towards Baldy. He took a slash, and you're taking your slash.
Cool. I'm taking 2.
You're taking 2 slashes.
I'm taking 2 slashes.
2 slashes.
One of those probably hits. That's an 11. That's 21.
So the 11 misses. The
11
21
misses.
hits.
Cool. Oops.
Oops, you get sneak attack.
I do. That's what I'm getting.
That's probably dead.
Nice dice.
You have to roll real shitty for him not to die. Nope, that's not shitty.
4,
Not the
10,
greatest.
15, 19 points damage.
Alright. So you run up after this guy. Gildor takes that slash into his arm, and then Gildor immediately sort of ducks as he realizes that you're behind him. The other guy did not realize that you're behind him. You guys sort of move so swiftly and in step, in sync, that he didn't really take a chance to see him.
And
But as
Tiriel's
Gildor
sword
ducks,
just like right over his head.
you're leaping through the air. You're
nice.
just sort of like crouching in this stance, but you're leaping, pulling your legs up to avoid Gildor, and you just take this guy's head clean off and just land past him as his head just.
I imagine I use Gildor to launch myself over.
Nice. Yeah, it could be like this sort of like acrobatic.
He sort of like drops to a knee, and I use like the one
Yeah.
knee to like launch up over him. Yeah.
And then just sort of like flip through the air and just like sort of gainer, half moon or whatever, and you just like slice him up the shoulder. Just
Yeah.
hell yeah. So any one of those options work.
All of those work.
And it's in the
It's
various
really-
odd sort of mental timeline
Yeah.
of D&D. Those are all 3 separate realities, and
Yeah.
they all happen
Yeah.
simultaneously.
Totally.
This guy died.
Either
either
way, it's glorious.
Yeah, he's dead. He's really dead. The other one on the other side, though, is now. No! No!
Huh.
Lead shattered. Yeah, and he is now still all the way in the corner, so what do you want to do?
I mean, that's my action. Movement. I don't have a bonus action thing that would really do anything to him. So, I'll just sort of land, turn around and look at him. Spoke for both of you, and now he's dead. Just,
Okay. Are you trying to do another persuasion?
for
No.
one, I don't really care to.
Okay. Okay, so we'll just pull this out of initiative, because he's dead anyways. But he does. Calthena sort of pulls up her hands and her staff, and she looks at him and says, "You should do what my friend said. There doesn't need to be needless bloodshed here." And as he's doing that, though, go ahead and, or she's saying that, go ahead and give me a perception test.
Okay. Ooh, that bounced all over the place. That's 15.
15? Okay. He seems like he's reaching for something.
How far away is he?
He's, at this point, you're about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 35 through the air, like a straight shot.
Okay.
Because he's like diagonally across the room from you. However, if you go down the stairs and actually move towards him around all the objects in place, it'd be more.
Yeah.
Fucking battle music.
I know. Da, da, da. Can I
Probably.
sort of, I guess there's still a chance you can save against it. Sort of pull up the sigil for Toll the Dead again.
Uh-huh.
Just be like, touch something. That'll be the last thing you do.
You get one more persuasion attempt, but it's going to be with disadvantage.
Cool.
This guy already pretty much said that he would gladly do it.
Yeah, that's the 3.
3? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So now this is going to be a dexterity check, with both of you, to see who essentially goes first. Who acts quicker.
14.
14, alright. Natural 19.
Yep.
Plus 2.
I'm not rolling super hot right now.
So he hits this button, and you watch as basically a big stone or a slab opens up near him, about 5 feet away from him to his left, opens up, and he tries to dart in there. However, you can still do your thing.
He has to make a wisdom save.
Okay. What does he got to do? What does he got to beat?
What do you roll?
Dirty 20.
Oh, he saves. Why are you even asking?
He saves and then he darts into that little hallway.
Fuck. I'll run after him.
You're gonna run after him?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright, so he's got 30 feet of movement. You have 40.
With a dash, I have 80.
Oh, with the dash, he's got 60.
Yeah.
So you'll catch up to him in how many seconds?
How far away?
He was about 30 feet from you.
He's 30 feet from me.
Well, 30 feet from you if
So
you took the
he
most
can-
direct path, but you have to go down the stairs.
How far
You
is
can
the
hop
drop?
over.
Yeah.
The drop is a good 10 feet, 10
Oh,
15 feet.
yeah, I'll hop over.
Okay, go ahead and give me an acrobatics check.
I have advantage on that right now.
Oh, that's right,
It's
you
on.
do.
Oh, that's good, because that's a 21.
21?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you off the banister, just leap out, and as you hit the ground, you tuck and roll, and then you begin sprinting after him. So that'll give you
It'll
a
be
good little bit
90
of distance.
feet.
90 feet.
He'd be 90 feet from where I was. I would get 80 feet. He'd be 10 feet away from me. I'd catch him in the next round.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Hold on. Did not prepare for this.
Can I actually get to that 10 feet and throw a dagger at him? I have some daggers.
Give me just a moment.
Okay.
You can't. As you're running towards him, I'd like you to go ahead and give me a. This is just a quick perception test.
Okay. Fuck. Natural one.
Natural one. Okay.
Yep.
So as you're running after him, you can still make the dagger throw, but you chart after him in this like passageway, right? And there's a quick cutoff very early on, and as you go to round that corner, you pull out your dagger and you go to throw it, but you hear the sharp click of a pressure plate underneath you, and then there is actually a statue sort of set into the wall behind you, and it launches out flames. So I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
You can still throw your dagger.
Can I? Okay.
You can go ahead and give me a range attack.
Okay. That hits. That's a 16.
Okay,
plus 5.
he's dead.
Cool.
He had 2 hit points left.
Thank God.
But you need to now roll me a dexterity saving.
Okay. Okay. That was a natural 20.
Natural
Can I keep
20?
that one?
Yeah, totally. Nice. You're still gonna take half damage, but unless you
actually,
have a
I'm
feature.
gonna evasion, and I'm gonna take no damage.
Wait.
If I fail a save, I
you have that
still
feature.
take half damage. Yeah.
Nice.
No damage.
Cool. Yeah, you just like after you hear that instinctive click, you immediately just sort of like use your momentum to like almost run into the wall and then tic-tac up the side of it, avoiding this narrow cone of fire that blasts out towards you, and you just sort of tic-tac up the wall so that it's just barely, you tuck your body, and then you slowly do a flip in the air, and as you're doing that flip, you fling that dagger, and you hit him right square back in the neck, and he crumples into this winding passageway.
Dope.
Nice. Good job.
It was sort of like 3-point landing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. And then she's gonna take a minute to actively check for anything else, like immediately around her.
And nobody saw that.
Yeah, nobody saw that. You may have heard the like, whoosh, like rush of fire, but nobody has to know that was a.
Gildor was on your tail, and he definitely was in the entryway when he saw you like sort of dash up the wall. But you disappeared behind the corner, so he didn't get to see the rest of it.
She lands, yells, "Trap!"
No, I saw that.
Oh, good. I didn't.
Yeah, apparently.
Can I look for said pressure plate really quick?
Yeah, it's literally the corner pressure plate.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, because this hallway is just about wide enough for like one person.
Okay, so
5
it's
foot.
just This guy just hopped over it.
He
And
knows where it's at. Yeah, it seems like a quick exit.
Can I try to? Can I look at it and see if it's something I could disarm? For ease of travel, or is it Is it super easy to avoid?
I mean, it's easy. It'd be easier for them to avoid now that you know exactly where it's at.
Okay.
But yeah, if you, it seems like the trap does have like a sort of resetting mechanism. Because it's just a pressure plate, so you just step on it. But if you wedge something in under it to sort of prevent it from actually being stepped on again in that way,
Gotcha.
you can totally deactivate it.
Okay.
Yeah, you imagine that's because the wall itself sort of just houses this statue inside of it. So
let's say I
doing
throw
something with that, but it's magically based.
Let's say I throw a body on it. Will it activate it and then just keep it activated so it can't be triggered again?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay. Can we take a break so I can go to the bathroom and then decide how I'm gonna disarm this trap?
Yeah, we will go ahead and take a break.
Yes, I have to pee.
Me too.
Me first.
Me three.
No, God, I almost stepped on all this. Ah! You can use the bathroom. Once you're done and fucking munching on all those, don't trip on the cords.
All right, so I say we move this one along.
Yes.
Because I don't imagine we're going to get to the tree.
Ah.
Yeah.
I know.
We're just going to finish up this one in
Fuck.
pretty much ending it with, what happens here. Rescuing Cressida, essentially.
Okay. I guess Yeah, I mean, probably take a little longer to get to the tree and do the conflicts with the other people there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, are there more, there be more combat and conflicts? You gotta close that door.
Yes.
After getting her.
Yeah, because on the other side of that room there was that stairway.
Yeah.
And that would have led to another hallway, which would have led to essentially, a few other rooms that really had no value but could have contained enemies.
Uh-huh.
However, you have found the passageway that actually leads to the place that Cressida is being held.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you could totally just take it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was planning to do.
Yeah.
I guess my only question is, how do you want to segue into the next session if you're gonna start with heading to the tree? you know, like getting to, yeah, so pacing of like the next episode would be my question. Are we gonna get to the moment where we step through the tree and we're not where we're supposed to be, you know, which would make for a great episode end, versus a like early episode event.
I mean, it might be interesting to happen in the middle of an episode.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll feel it out. This
Yeah.
one can definitely feel like it can end here. But we still have another big combat to go through.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna. Combat always takes time.
Yeah. Oh.
What?
I can grab a card.
Kapana?
Oh yes. She's the, what is she?
Enchanter.
That's what I thought.
She's like Ictilian. Except nicer.
Not a fucking bitch.
Not a monster.
Yeah.
Twisted monster.
Absolute monster. What have you become, Ictilian?
I didn't have no mom and no dad. Kinda got weird.
My grandma was weird. Oh, I got weird.
Yeah, just got weird.
Could I has a marker?
What color?
I don't care. It's a good color. What has Kalthana used?
Company's used a. She's used a haste. She's used 2 magic missiles.
Okay.
That's it.
Cool. Third level. She's the 1, 2 magic missiles. Cool. Alright.
So you can control her from now.
Cool.
Nice.
Yep, I got her.
Okay. So, we're back.
We're back.
Yeah. Woo.
Woo!
So you are now in this tight passageway that seems to be like a secret passageway, or at least a passageway maybe known to a few of the members inside of the Dawnstone. So, where would you like to go?
I would like to call. Gildor's behind me. I'd like to call it to Kalthana and have her.
She very quickly arrives behind him. Not as quick as you guys, because
Yeah.
you guys are fucking ninjas, but
And help her sort of hop over the corner pressure plate.
okay.
Just to make sure she doesn't trigger it, and then make our way down the hallway, keeping an eye out for.
Oh, just so you know, that says a dex of +2. She actually has a dex of +3.
Okay.
Because I considered her race, which that does not consider race.
Yep.
It's pretty
Generic.
non-judgmental.
Wow. You, however,
Care a lot about race in D&D, man.
I will help her hop over the pressure plate.
Got it.
And then retrieve my dagger from the
Back of this
back of this dead
guy.
wizard.
Yeah.
Clean it off on his robes.
Okay.
Resheath it and make our way down the hallway.
Move on like a boss.
Yep, I will help keep an eye out for any other traps or things. Yeah.
Got it.
I would have liked to be able to ask them some questions, but so be it.
Well, next time, try for non-lethal damage.
You know, there was fire. I was dodging. I was throwing a dagger. It's kind of hard to. He was very injured.
I don't care.
It seems like you care, but other places to be.
You guys continue down this tight passageway. It winds a few times until it seems like you're going actually in the opposite direction, like you're going back towards that room, except you don't make it towards that room. And it actually at some point descends into a steep downgrade. And then at one point it also sort of opens up a little bit, just gets a little bit wider. Not like to a cavern, it just opens up, it gets a little wider, more spacious. And along the sides of you are some of that more geode rock formations. but it pulses very faintly with this sort of pinkish red glow. And eventually, you come to a solid wall. It takes you about 20 or so minutes, but eventually you arrive to just a solid wall in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Can I poke at said wall?
Yeah.
See if it's actually a solid wall?
It's a solid wall. You poke it, and it's there.
Can I look for any sort of evidence that other people have come through here? Like footsteps, drag marks, movement, signs of movement.
Yeah,
on
there
or
are some.
around it.
Yeah, a little. It seems like there's 1, 2, maybe 3 sets of tracks that have come through here recently. It seems like this is sort of actively used by a couple members of the Dawn Wizards.
Where do those footsteps appear to go after this wall?
After this wall, I mean, some of them appear to be coming back, some of them appear to be coming through, but this so far has been just a one-way ticket.
Cool. Can I sort of examine the wall, see if there's any sign that it moves or
Go ahead
does
and
anything?
give me an investigation check.
Okay. Investigation. I'm okay at that. I'm actually pretty good at that. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Yeah.
All right. You do find a soft indentation in the wall that you feel like needs a faint spark of magic because it has this very light, arcane presence to it. And you do see etched into the side a glyph, and that glyph stands for essentially lightning or electricity, you know.
Cool. Tiriel's gonna scuff her feet on the ground, build up a little bit of a static charge, and then shock and grasp into the little depression.
Okay. You just faintly just cast a shock and grasp into the indentation. And it sort of had this like, circular tube-like thing that seemed like it was lined with like copper or something to receive as a receptacle. And you, and then whatever mechanism it hit on the other side, you then see that the stone wall in front of you just slowly move out of the way with this very irritating stone on stone grinding noise.
Is Gildor still wearing the armor of the other guy? More or
well,
less.
you haven't told him to take it off, so yeah, I guess he does.
Yeah. Well, in case anyone asks, you're still just a god.
I don't think gods take this approach.
Well, we'll find out soon enough.
I mean, if you're here with me, you're immediately going to give away our intent.
Yes, but normally I'm sneakier.
So you're seeing as it opens up into another large crystal cavern. You're seeing above you, directly above you, it seems like there's a sort of like second floor tier, or there's just a sort of slanted overhang. And then this is all this interior crystal geode, except it's all white this time. And you're seeing in the center of this room more of that sort of arcane equipment, except much larger. And it's just, it hums with magical energy. It seems to have these sort of like copper colored plates and golden plates that all have these arcane sigils floating above them. And the entire contraption is like this whole ball of energy that seems to just rotate around with these various rings around it. Some of them representing different types of elemental magic, or some of them representing just different spells that are sort of acting on this energetic sphere. But you're not sure, because all of this is definitely beyond your scope. However, you do know that a lot of that's being used to then funnel up to this crystal, this like very stark diamond-shaped red crystal at the very top that is then funneling its energy back down into what is right behind that big structure. And this room is about 80 feet wide, but it's very brightly lit. And you see where that energy is transmitting to. It's transmitting to one of those crystal devices, except much bigger, and it houses a familiar figure. you're seeing Chrysia. And also in this room, now with heads turned towards you, at the base of that arcane thing, there are two figures. One is like one of the Dawn Wizards, except their garb seems to be a lot more ornate, a lot more pointed in places, a lot more sort of decorative golden trim that sort of flows along their arms. You see long blonde hair. There are these sort of pieces that come down and are braided that fall past the ears, and then more of it's pulled up behind the head and braided again to fall behind and towards the back. They have very pointed ears, sort of almond-colored skin, sharp blue eyes, their chin pointed as they're sort of looking towards you. And Gilder whispers, "That's Sinmarin." You see the figure next to him, though, stands about a head and a half taller than Sinwarin, and Sinwarin appears to be a tall elf. This is it looks to be an Eladrin, except it sort of glows. It's not like the summer, it's like the summer, but except it glows with a more radiant aspect. You've heard of Dusk and Dawn Eladrins, but they're typically very devoted, and very rare. Whereas the Eladrins of the seasonal courts, they change. They tend to sometimes be winter, sometimes be summer. Very rarely do they remain in one state for very long. Dawn and Dusk Eladrins stay Dawn and Dusk Eladrins. And this one is decked out in shining gold emblazoned armor. It all has this sort of inherent glow to it. They're sort of, I wouldn't say jagged. They have these like elegant sort of spires to like the shoulder pieces. The helmet has this long pointed piece in the back, but you're seeing long flowing golden hair. And then this creature has these very pointed golden eyes. This character's almost hard to look at with how bright they are. Very much counteracts the Dusk Court with what you're used to. But they're both just looking at you guys. Before Sinwarin is like, "What are you doing here? You're not meant to be here."
I believe last time I checked we were on a rescue mission. Tiriel's just gonna sort of step forward and gesture behind them. It's like, you have taken far too many, and you have taken the wrong one.
We do as we must. But I don't know you, nor do I know why you are intervening here. But that's fine, because you won't make it much further. And then you see that golden-plated figure step forward, and you see appearing at a side in almost like a whirlwind of color, a bright flash of dawn energy. And you see stepping out from that another figure. This one, 2 more heads taller than the one next to it. And this one also has this long, flowing, rose blonde hair. Eyes, almost as intense as Oberon's. Clad in these nice, delicate, flowing clothes. But she has this large blade at her side. And this is a fae. This is a court fae. And then you hear from across the room, "You'll be my opponent, Oberon." And you see from the very far end of the room, again, this chamber's big. It's about 80 feet wide in front of you, about 80 feet across, and another 80 feet across. You see a set of large doors where Oberon's standing now in his armor. And he's painted, blood is all over him. He's had no mercy for anybody. And you're actually noticing that as you're sort of stepping in and making your way slowly inching forward, as Oberon has now captured the attention of those three in the middle, you see above you is this sort of like banister up above you, about 20 feet up, sort of like a second tier to the room. Seems to be more of a walkway than anything else. But yeah, and so he calls out that other fae. The other fae says, "Oh, hello. It's been so long since I've seen you. The last time we met was on the field of battle." And then Oberon goes, "Then I guess some things never change." And immediately in like a blur, a flash of both black light and bright light, they're just poof, and their blades just clang together. Well, his trident and her blade. And they clash immediately. And Oberon looks to you and he says, "Take care of the Eladrin. He's going to be the one that you want to face." And then the other one, Senwar, and he sort of looks at the ensuing battle between those two, and he goes, "Oh, well, I don't want to be here if Oberon's here. Well, I bid you adieu."
Can Kalthana try to cast Hold Person on him?
Sure.
Oh, he has gotta make a save. I don't remember what the save is. Do I have Hold Person? I do. Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold person, wisdom saving throw.
Okay. I don't know what her spell. Her spell save is only 14.
He rolled a 14.
Fuck.
So she tries to cast it immediately, and he's like, oh no, you don't. Erdothis, take care of this. I'm going to go gather my books in my study. And he just takes off in the opposite direction of Oberon, towards another door. So the tall Eladrin sort of narrows her gaze at you, or his gaze, excuse me. Narrows his gaze at you, his long blonde hair sort of spilling over his shoulders, and he says, "You will be my opponent. I need you and everyone else to roll the initiative."
Okie dokie. That's a natural 20 for me.
Nice.
That's a 23. That's a Gildor. Let me down, man.
Oh well, Erdoth rolled a 4.
So did Gildor.
Nice.
That's a 6 for him.
Well, it's a 9 for Erdoth.
Yep.
Roll me for Kalthana.
Oh, that's right. Oh, hot shit. That's a dirty 20 for Kalthana. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So you guys are all in initiative order. You have the first go. What are you gonna do?
I am going to... Again, how far away?
So currently, let's see, the pastor is here. He's about 5, 10, 15, 20. He's about 20 feet in front of you, actually.
Oh, that's not that far away.
He's in the central chamber where that large sort of stone dais and copper-topped contraption is in the center of with that floating crystal, or not crystal, but arcane energy.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to...
I'm excited to see what you do.
I'm going to just start bonus action, use my last blade song.
All right.
A moment.
Boom, boom, boom. Your blade song, it begins singing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good for you, because you're going to need that AC.
I am indeed. And...
You notice that this character has a longsword and a bow on his back.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, get up close. Yeah, and that's what I'll do. I'm just gonna start by activating my blade song, and just thinking about order of things. Yeah, I'm gonna just move up to
I will say,
and make
since you
2
and
attacks.
Calthena are both next to each other in the initiative order, that you guys can essentially go at the same time. Just to make this a little more fun. You can do both your guys' actions in the same turn.
Okay.
So if you want to mix things up.
Yeah, let me check. She has spells that I'm not as familiar with, so I need to double check a couple things.
Do you want me to look up anything?
No, it's okay. Okay. Can Calthena cast haste on me the same turn? Okay.
It's kind of minded that.
Yeah. I'm just reading what she has. Another one. Yeah, so as Tiriel pulls out her blade and activates the blade song, Calthena will just sort of draw the sigils and sort of drop them on Tiriel at the same time. And then I'm going to... God, fucking... Now my AC's what?
It gets +2.
It gets +2, Jesus. And I get a 3rd attack. I have advantage on dex saves. Yeah. Oh, I can also... Dope. Yeah. Well, then I'm going to move in, and I'm going to just go ahead and make 3 attacks on this turn.
Okay, go for it.
I'll just roll 3 dice, just because I have 3 out. 2 probably hit. One of them's a 7. So that one is a 20. That one is a 23.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you go and you take two slashes at him. He immediately pulls out his longsword, and you guys begin locking blades. But you can feel that you're ever so putting him off guard, just slightly putting him off step and making him sort of come up in areas where you were showing his weak points. You're constantly just going for them. Go ahead and roll me damage for those 2 attacks.
I don't get sneak attack because I don't have an ally up on me.
Nope.
I'll just roll. 18. 18 points of damage.
Nice.
Right? Yeah, 18. Oh, no, it's not. It's more than that. I didn't change this when I upped my fucking... It's 20 points of damage.
Oh.
Because I didn't change my modifiers.
Oh.
When I upped my dexterity.
That's important.
I'm a fool! They're changed now.
So 20 points of damage?
Correct.
Woo! All right. That's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. That is...
Yours and her turn.
That is my turn. Her turn. She can use movement.
Where do you want her to go?
Cover. Is there any cover anywhere?
This room is totally stark.
Open? Okay.
There is the banister above you.
She doesn't have Misty Step.
She doesn't?
No.
Oh, she should.
She doesn't.
Oh, hold on.
Unless it's like a racial feat thing that you were giving
not.
her.
No.
I mean, you've had her do it before.
I've had her do it, and I think I just had her change out the spell, but I never wrote it when I created her stat block. I just pulled out one spell for another. She has Misty Step in place of... it's 2nd level, right?
Yeah.
In place of...
Suggestion?
Yeah, suggestion. Because she's never used that.
I guess how does that work if she...
So she can't cast it because it's a bonus action spell.
So dumb.
Yeah,
Even though
that
it's
is kinda
a
weird.
lower level than haste.
I'll rule that she can do it. That's fine.
Okay.
Because I don't get that rule in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, so you could cast 2 spells, but how if you don't use a bonus action? Like, only
Counter spell.
reactions.
Yes.
It only applies to reaction
Or action
spells.
surges, if you have them.
Yeah. Weird. So can she Misty Step up to the banister?
I'll let it happen. Yeah.
Cool. Then she is going to go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Be up there. And that is her turn. And that's whoever's next.
is Erdathis. Erdathis puts his hand out on you. He just puts his hand on you ever so gently. It's like he does it quickly, but it's gentle, and he just sort of
Rude.
He just sort of takes your shoulder, and he says, "I'll deal with you in a moment." And as he does that, you feel the haste vanish off your form.
Son of a bitch.
And then
Can I, there's nothing I can do about that?
no, unless you counterspell it, because he specifically cast the spell magic. It's at 3rd level.
Damn it. Yeah, I'm gonna counterspell it.
I mean, you technically have another mage that can counterspell, and he's under your control.
He's out of... I guess he could counterspell it at a higher level.
It's up to you.
He has more spell slots than I do, that's for sure. Yeah, sure. I'll have Gildor 4th level counterspell it.
Okay. Yeah. So as he goes to do that, and he expects the sort of green sheen of energy to fade from you, the ones that's sort of making your figure blur in space, and he expects it to go away, and he's like, And then he looks over to Gildor. Ah, I see. And then he bamps, and he appears in a flash of bright light, right in front of Gildor. He sort of looks up at Kalpen and he says, "I'll get to you later as well." And then he looks at Gildor, and then he rushes at him. But he can't do anything else because he used his action to cast spell magic. But he's going to get right up on Gildor and be in his space, or be next to him. So that. Oh, and Cistern. My bad. I'll have you do this next time. But on Gildor's turn, Gildor needs to roll me a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Shit, I should have remembered this.
That's a 16.
Oh, that just barely meets it. Okay, cool. Gildor is taken aback by the speed and the ferocity of this thing, and he immediately has to sort of and breathe out this sigh of anxiety that was welling up in his lungs, because this thing has this sort of awe and like fear-inspiring presence to him, which he saved against. So, yeah. So now it's Gildor's turn.
Okay. Gildor is right up next to this guy. Okay. He's gonna cast Arcane Hand.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mainly because I've always wanted to use that.
Nice.
Yeah, just all the spell slots. Just all the spells. And... yeah, he's gonna just, like, sort of draw the sigils, sort of, like, pull out, like, it almost looks like a mage hand for a second, and then he's gonna, like, throw it into this thing's space and cast Grasping Hand.
Oh, wow.
Is this, still a medium creature?
Yeah, totally.
Then he has advantage on the attempt to crush it.
Is this a grapple check?
It is a grapple check. I use the hand's strength score.
Okay, so just go ahead and make an attack roll,
Okay.
like normal.
I have advantage
Okay.
on the...
And I believe this guy makes a athletics check to... Actually, let me see.
You would use the hands... Yeah, use the hand's strength score to resolve the grapple. So it's an opposed check. And I have advantage, and I use the hand stats.
Okay, yeah, strength athletics check contested by the target's strength, athletics, or dexterity acrobatics. So I'll have him roll, what'd you get?
24.
24, okay. I'll have him roll his, ooh, okay, that was a 13.
Cool.
He's grappled.
Also gonna take 2d6 bludgeoning damage. 6 plus my spellcasting ability modifier. 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
9 points of bludgeoning damage, nice.
And him's grappled.
He's grappled. Okay.
And yeah.
It's an action to cast, bonus action for that thing to do its thing.
When you cast the spell, and as a bonus action in your subsequent turn.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's the action was to do that.
Got it. Okay. He's currently being grappled by an arcane hand. Is that going to be the end of Gilder's turn?
Yeah, because I don't want to even disadvantage risk the opportunity attack to hit him. To maintain concentration on it.
So you and Calthena, I need you guys to both roll me wisdom saving throws.
Okie dokie. That's a 16 for me.
Nice, you save.
That's not good for Calthena. Wisdom, that's a 7.
Okay. Calthena is considered frightened.
Oh, cool.
And her speed is reduced to 0.
Okay.
So
Just means she has disadvantage on attack rolls?
she has disadvantage on attack rolls. She can't move from her spot.
Yes.
And or at least not by her own will.
Yes.
And as long as he's in sight. But she can make the saving throw on each of her subsequent turns at the end of her turn.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah. She is considered frightened.
Okay.
So she will have disadvantage on all attack rolls while he's in sight.
Okay.
So it's your guys' turn now though.
Magic Missile doesn't have an attack roll.
Okay.
And she has more 4th level slots than 1st level. So she's just gonna hold her hand out over the thing and just magic missile down at him.
Cool. Alright, roll me dice.
It's normally 3 for
That
normal
4th
magic
level, you're gonna
missile.
another 3, so it's 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you have one I can borrow?
Yeah. Oh, you get the sanguine.
Thank you. So many really sharp d4s in my hand.
Oh, that's the best.
That's not the best. 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 13.
Plus 6.
Plus 6, 19.
19 points of damage, alright. 19 points of damage that just land. Nothing I can do about it.
Just hit. That's her turn.
Alright. Your turn.
My turn?
Yeah.
He's within range for me to get to, correct?
Totally. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. He only moved about 20 or so feet.
Okay.
Probably 30 actually.
Okay, so that's still close enough with my changing some of my stuff that I forgot to change while I'm at it. Yeah, I am going to run up to him. I'm still hasted. I am gonna make 3 attacks. He's grappled, so I have advantage on these attacks, correct?
I believe so. Let me check real quick.
I'm fairly certain.
I'm fairly certain as well, but go ahead. Oh, just wait.
But I'll just wait. I won't roll with advantage if I don't get it. I'll be mad.
No, yeah, no, you don't have advantage. No, it's just restrained.
Really?
Yep, nope, you don't have advantage.
Okay. Cool.
His speed is 0, and he can't benefit from any bonus to speed, but...
And he would have to use his action to break the grapple, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okie dokie. Then just 3 attacks. That one's coming. That one's cocked. Let me roll that one.
Is it cocked?
It is. It's definitely up on its edge.
Alright, I'll give it to you.
Doesn't matter. That is a 17 and a 25.
17 and 25? Okay. So the 17 is going to use his reaction to bring up his blade and parry that. So as you come down, he frees one of his arms at just the right moment and takes his blade and just your blade just glances off of his. But that second attack, as you come back down the swing, you pierce right through the fingers of Arcane Hand to puncture through his armor.
Sneak attack, because Gildar's right on the other side of him.
So 1 hit, yeah.
Ooh, 5, 10, 15, 27, 20, 25
Your
points.
D8 was a 5. You accidentally.
No, I know.
turned it.
5, 10, 15, 25 points of damage.
25 points of damage? Jesus Christ.
It was 3 5s. A 4 and then a 1, but whatever.
Okay. Alright, is that the end of your turn?
I can use my bonus action to disengage.
Okay.
Because I have not used my bonus action here.
Okay, well, just so you know, he just uses his reaction to parry your blade.
Oh. True. Well, then I will just move away.
Okay.
Like 15 feet.
Okay. You move away, and as all this is going on, you're hearing the resounding blows of those two court fae fighting in this sort of dance of light and darkness, of brightness and shadow. And you're seeing as the room is beginning to sort of shift and change. There are pools of shadows just sort of appearing out of nowhere, like giant sort of unearthly puddles of darkness just rising from the ground, just instead of seeping down, seeping up, you know, and forming these large pools. And so you're seeing this sort of these blocks of shadow being made in various areas. Where you're at right now, there's one off to your right, about 20 feet, and we'll say, actually no, there's a large circle of it off to the right of you, and there's one next to Kalthena.
Up on the banisters?
Up on the banner to her right. So, and then there's a bunch others throughout the room, but those are the closest to you guys.
So I guess how far was that sort of puddle of darkness from me if I'm standing right on that thing?
It's about 10 feet from you. 10 feet, and then the puddle of darkness itself is about a 20-foot cube.
Then I would like to actually move just inside the edge of that.
Okay. You move inside the edge of it. Do you have your Twilight Eyes active?
If I'm not using my bonus action to disengage, then I will have my Twilight Eyes active.
Okay.
I will step into it and then activate my Twilight Eyes.
So you can see him lit up through the magical darkness. And there's another cube that's pretty much right across from that one that you're in, but up. Okay. And it's next to Kalthena's frozen form.
Awesome.
So, Edodath is going to sort of like feel the wound, just and then look up, and then he slips out of Arcane Hand's grasp and just bamps up to the top, right next to Kalthena. And he's going to go ahead and take 2 attacks at her. Ooh. I guess a 10 doesn't hit, does it?
Nope.
Okay, 24 hits though.
On 24.
Mm-hmm.
Question.
Sure.
One more 3rd level spell slot. Can I get up there next to him? Can I reaction? No.
We haven't made it yet.
You have though. You've written it.
It hasn't happened It hasn't happened yet. You will get it.
Okay.
And perhaps this could be the catalyst for getting it. Because Kalthena's going to take 8, 10. Oh, I don't know. I'm supposed to be rolling 10s. She takes 20 points of damage. 2 of those are fire. As he just rakes her with this blade, and the wound that is made just erupts into flame.
What was it to hit again?
It was
to hit?
24.
Okay.
Yeah. Which you totally would have been able to deflect.
I know. That's why
That's funny.
I asked. Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh, actually, you know what? He's gonna use. Never mind. I didn't do it, so I won't. But yeah, So now he's just up there looming over her, just the one slash mark just straight through her chest. Half her health gone. Alright, so that's going to end his turn. Alright, so you can go ahead. Oh, no, it's Gilbert's turn now.
Okay. How close to the edge of that banister is he?
I'd say he's right up on it. Because Calvin is right up on it on her side too.
Then, as a bonus action, Gildor's gonna send the hand up, and it's gonna try to, forceful hand. It pushes it. It's gonna up over the edge of it and try to pull him down off the edge of the banister.
Okay, cool.
It can move a creature 5 feet. So if he's within 5 feet of it, I want to pull him off the edge of the banister.
Interesting. So how does that work? Is it a save?
It's a contested strength athletics check.
Okay.
If it's medium, I have advantage.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Natural 20?
Natural 20.
It works! Yeah, he rolled a 15.
Cool. Yeah, that would have been... It was a natural 20 and a 13. Either way, it would have been fucked.
Nice.
Pushes it up to 5 feet, plus a number of feet equal to 5 times your spellcasting ability modifier. So, I would love it if the hand just sort of came and just threw him off the banister, basically. Just backhands him off the banister.
That's amazing.
So it would be... the hand moves with the target to remain within 5 feet of it.
Oh,
so it's just gonna sort of grab him and just throw him down.
Okay, cool.
5 times it. So that's 5 times 3 is 15. That's 20 feet out and then down.
Okay, 20 feet out and down. Okay, so what the hand does is the hand rises up and just in this gnarled sort of knuckled curling motion just grabs the back of him and flings him. And as it sort of flings him with this like flick of the wrist, he goes flying and lands right in that device. Just sort of clatters against this sort of stone ring. Just his head landing on the copper top, and he sort of steps back up from the edge of it, and immediately the hand just woof, just right there, curled knuckled position again, just sort of waiting for him to try to do anything. Does that do damage?
Fall damage?
Yeah, I guess fall damage.
It doesn't do damage, but...
Well, technically he fell down 20 feet, but he was also flung 20 feet across. Where's falling? Sorry.
That's okay.
Speed falling. The end of a fall, over 10 feet it fell. Okay, so we'll say this is 30 feet, essentially, just to, so it's 1d6 for the 30 feet. What? I rolled 2 6s and a 5.
Hell yeah.
Damn.
17.
17 points of damage.
And then Gilder's gonna stay back, and rather than firebolt and sword attack, that was his bonus action. Mm-hmm. I can just throw a firebolt at him.
Okay, go ahead. Well, I mean, technically his multi-attack is considered his action.
I know, but I don't want to
You don't want to go up? Okay,
yeah. That's a 16.
16 does not hit.
Nope. Okay. Cool. Well, that is his turn.
That's the end of the round. So it is now yours and Calthena's turn. Calthena can roll her save again.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. She won't be able to roll it until the end of her turn.
Can I just roll it? It'll be all.
You can roll it now, but
Yeah.
she won't be able to move or benefit if she makes an attack.
She doesn't have any attacks.
I know, which is why I look at that.
She just magic missiles, and she's gonna 4th level do it again.
Oh, yeah? Oh, shit, dude.
She's not at disadvantage. She's up here. She doesn't have anything else to really do up here.
Okay.
Can I have one more D4 again?
Go for it.
I won't
Kill
count
my
that one.
creation.
Maybe. No, probably not. 3, 6, 10, 14, 20 points of damage.
Jesus. Yeah, you guys are just battering the fuck out of him. To the point to where he's being knocked around and it's like, yeah, knocking the fuck out of him. I don't know what to say.
Alrighty.
I'm at a loss for words.
She's gonna make her save. She probably doesn't save. That's a... Oh, what is it? What is that? Wisdom save? Nope, that's only a 14. Her wisdom save is lower than Gildor's. So it's my turn?
Yeah.
Tis my turn?
Yeah. You watch as like she hits him with all those and they pierce him, and he, for the first time, sort of after getting up, the hand coming back to approach him pulling out a sword to go take a swing at the hand, just being battered by all of these darts, and then he coughs up some blood that just lands right on that device. Yeah. He is hurting bad.
Cool. I am going to... What is... Because I don't have it written down. The Basilisk Gaze. What save do they make?
I believe it's Constitution.
Okay. And that's an action to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not gonna... Ow! Got my ring caught in my hair. I'm not gonna do that at the moment.
Okay.
I'm just going to still...
Oh, wait.
Still...
How much? He did 20 damage to Kalthana?
Correct.
You need to roll me a Constitution saving throw for concentration. For your haste.
Oh! Shit. Okay. Oh, she adds nothing to that. 15?
That beats it, yeah.
Cool.
Because it was 20 damage, so she needs to make
Half
10.
of that?
Yeah.
Dope. So I still have haste. Does the arcane hand count as an ally?
Technically.
Cool. Alright. 3 hits. Ooh, all of those miss.
All of those?
Those are all single digits. Those are all gonna miss.
Well, what are they?
One's a 16. That's the highest.
Yeah, that doesn't hit.
It's yeah, I know.
That almost hits, just barely misses. Yeah, he just seems to glow with a fervent energy about him, where he seems determined. He's not focused on you, he's not focused on Gildor, he's focused on Kalthana, who has all intents been doing a lot of damage to him. And he just glows with that energy, and you now, going for his weak spots once again, he seems to have corrected his stance, corrected his form, and he is now essentially making up the distance and covering those areas that you were once trying to target. You were totally ineffective against him.
Okay, that is my turn.
Okay.
Question.
Sure.
Because we haven't specified, the temporary hit points from the staff, those only for me, or could I give those to someone else?
I think you'd have to be within touch range to do it.
Okay.
I never clarified
don't
upon
have a
that,
way
but it's
to
sort
get
of
up
a
there.
touch thing. Like, you can get the health points from it because you're holding the staff.
Mm-hmm.
If you could get anyone else within distance of it, within 5 feet, then yes, you can kill them too.
Okay. I've already used my Misty Step. I've not had a short rest since I did that, so I can't get up there. Okay. That's my
Okay.
turn. I'll stay right here though.
Okay. On his turn, he bamfs up there once again. To right next to Calthena.
Did I roll her save?
You did.
Oh, and it wasn't enough. It was 14.
Yeah. And now he looms over her once again. He pulls his longsword back.
She doesn't have shield. Why doesn't she have shield?
Is 16 a hit?
Yeah.
He also bonus action casts. Blinding Smite. So that will happen on this attack too.
Question.
Sure.
This reaction ability that she has, can she use it?
She can.
You've never used it with her.
No.
I guess I have to decide to do so before the attack hits or misses. And never mind.
What does it do?
Tries to magically divert an attack made against it.
Okay.
On a failed save, the attacker targets the creature closest to it other than the enchanter or itself.
We'll say if you want, we can do that.
I'll try.
But I'm gonna carry over that yeah, it's 16. No, it's 18. Excuse me.
She doesn't have shield, so
Okay.
I can't. It's her AC's 15, assuming she has mage armor on.
Okay. What does he have to roll?
It's only a 14 wisdom save.
Oh, he rolls a 14.
Cool.
All right. 11 points of slashing damage, plus 2 points of fire damage, and then 3d8 points of
she's down.
damage.
That's
8,
yeah.
12,
That's enough.
15. So yeah, with this one just blinding light strike, his blade just enveloped by this radiant light, and then flaming at the end of it, to where it's just sort of like it looks like just a beam of light but on fire, and he takes it and just wails on her with it with one decisive crack. This thunderous noise that is released out in the air, and Calthena falls. Since she is an NPC of yours, she will have death saving throws. But now he looks to you and Gildor, and then points his blade at her, and he says, "If you want her to live, throw down your arms."
Sure, I'll drop it.
You drop your weapon?
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. What does Gildor do?
Yeah, he'll drop his sword too.
You both drop your weapons. And he looks to you. He says, "That was the right choice." I'll say for the purposes, we're now out of initiative order.
Okay.
You're still hearing the clamor of battle off in the distance. He is beaten and bloodied. He looks like he doesn't have a lot left in him, but he's staying resolute, and he has his blade up to Calthena. Like literally, it's mere inches from her chest. And she's sitting there knocked unconscious, heaving very shallow breaths. But he is also just sort of taking in these large gulps of air. So what do you want to do?
I kind of wanted to see if Gildor and I could simultaneously do something.
Okay. What is it? Because he's looking at you now, wondering. You throw down your weapon, so he throws down his sword. But he's looking at you like, what have you got planned?
There's still a fucking arcane hand.
Right, the arcane hand, though, is back. It's now by you.
Yeah. Is he within 60 feet of it?
Yeah.
Because Gildor can bonus action punch him off the banister again.
Right, but in how we're doing it out of initiative order, what'll happen now is
I guess
that'll be a dex check to see who acts first.
My question would have been who would have been after him.
Gildor.
Because that was what I was immediately going to do.
Well, if you want to just throw us back into initiative order, and just have
not drop it
go.
out of initiative. Like, I'm willing to drop my weapon on his command, like, as whatever on his turn.
You would be able to do that on your turn.
Okay. Yeah. Then I'm willing to, do that, or do that in response to him.
Okay, so we'll wait.
Okay.
It's
Gildor will
Gildar's
go
turn.
ahead and drop his weapon,
On his turn.
and then same thing. Just Arcane Hand is just back up.
All right.
And
So-
let me just double check. Yeah. Okay. That's a 27.
Wow!
That's
he
a
rolled a
19.
19 too.
I rolled a 19. It's plus 8. The hand strength score is 26. Yeah. Yeah. So, Gildor and Tiriel kind of look at each other. Gildor goes ahead and drops his sword, and then pulls him back down off the banister.
Yeah, the hand just comes rushing up from out of nowhere, grabs it, and he's thrown off.
Again.
Yeah, so that's another 36 damage. Same spot, just lands right in the spot he just landed. That is 12 points of damage. He's still up. So now it is your turn. And
The haste is gone.
haste is gone, and I need you to roll me a death saving throw for Calvin.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 2.
She fails one.
Okay. And I... Let me double check, because there is a consequence to haste fading on me.
Oh, there is, right?
I can't move or take actions.
For this turn? Okay, so as her haste fades from you, you drop the blade, but you also just drop the blade from this sort of weird grinding halt that your body comes to after the magic ends.
And Tiriel just does her best to just open her hand and let it go without
Making
doing
it look
much
like
else.
Yeah. So you can't do anything, can you?
Move or take actions. I guess that includes bonus action things. No.
What does it say?
It just says the target can't move or take actions until after its next turn.
I think it says actions.
It can't move or take actions.
That means you're down 2 turns.
I know.
So you can't do any actions.
I know. I just dropped my sword.
Are you gonna say anything?
Yeah. Look at him. This is over. Just let it end. You can leave as well. Point to whatever chaos is happening over Oberon and
They're making fractures and explosions happen in the distance, and more of these pools of light and darkness are being formed around you, and they're sort of mixing in this weird, the room's entirely transformed now. It seems to be it's locked in between dawn and darkness.
you cannot salvage any more of this.
Salvage. I fight for the Dawn Court. I fight for the hope they bring. I fight knowing that I will be reborn among their kind. What are you gonna say?
You're already among them. Who knows what you'll be reborn as? Stay what you are. There's no need to throw it away, the chance to become something more.
You gonna roll me a persuasion check?
Nope. That was low. That is a... 10.
So just so you know, at the beginning of each of his turns, he rolls to recharge his face step. and I've gotten it back each time. No, you know what? No, he wouldn't do that. This doesn't make so much sense. Instead, he's gonna pull out his longbow. He's gonna aim at you. Because you're just sort of stuck in place.
Mm-hmm.
This ends when both of us fall. And he rolls a 24.
Can I take a reaction?
I don't think you can. I think it says no actions. Like it specifies plural.
Take actions. Alright, that's fine.
Here, let me look it up real quick.
No, I don't care. Let's just end it.
Okay.
Let's just keep going.
Alright.
I'm not that concerned.
Okay. So a 24. No, these are plus 9, excuse me. So a 25 and a 17.
17 doesn't hit.
25 hits. This doesn't hit. 3, 5, so you take 8, plus 5, 13, plus 7 points of fire damage. So
20.
20 points of damage.
Okay.
As this one arrow just streaks with a curling flame of fire behind it and pierces right through your shoulders. You're just sort of stuck there in place. Your bones and muscle are so tired that you don't really even seem to care. Just sort of this overwhelming lethargy sweeps over you. It is now Gildor's turn. Oh shit, I should have done something else. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Gildor, seeing you take that, just take the arrow. Like, no effort to stop it. Like, even though he could probably tell that would have been totally doable.
Oh, he would have known that haste sort of has an effect.
Yeah. He's gonna bring the hand back around again, and grasping hand, sort of just grab this thing and push it to the ground again.
Okay. I can do contested athletics checks.
Natural 20.
Damn it! I rolled 9.
My other one was a 9. He is down. He is grappled. 2d6 bludgeoning damage. That's a 2 and a 1, plus my spellcasting ability modifier is 6 whole points of damage.
That is just enough.
That is
End this
just
thing.
enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus.
The hand just comes curling around, and it was gonna grab him, but it just sort of and it just fell under its weight without resisting and was just crumpled and pushed into the stonework, it just fracturing and breaking apart, which is the force of the slam. Because it is now going to be the next turn, and this is another 6 seconds. You roll me another saving throw for Kathana.
Okay. That's a natural 20.
She succeeds too.
Yeah. Can I see, like...
No, it says you can't move.
I know, I can't
So you
move.
still can't move right
I'm aware
now.
I can't move. I want to look.
Okay.
Can I see how to get up there?
Yeah, I mean, there's a stairway all the way to the other side of the room, and there's another stairway all the way to the other side of the room.
Okay.
Besides somehow making it up there right now.
That was Gildor's bonus action to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Action, he's gonna Misty Step up there.
Oh, okay. Wasn't Misty Step a bonus action?
Oh,
That's why bonus actions are weird.
yeah, it's a bonus action. Never mind.
Well, we can say you use the action to control the hand. Bonus action is step.
Sure.
Just go ahead.
Yeah. Then, yes.
Bonus
He
actions
will-
are weird.
Bonus actions are weird, and now the new, like, what you can and can't cast bonus actions or actions is weird. Then he will Misty Step up there.
Okay.
And I don't know if I don't have what she would have had on her, whether she still has any
She does
healing
have
potions.
healing potions, yes.
Then he will get to work finding those in her stuff and administering
It
one of
doesn't
those.
take him long. He fishes her pockets and he finds and uncorks a potion. He presses it up against her lips and she breathes in as she's got these terrible wounds that slowly start to seal up. She's like, that hurts. Oh, that hurts.
Is it just a regular healing potion?
Mm-hmm. And now it takes a couple more seconds, but finally you feel your limbs start to sort of free themselves up. They're not weighted down so much. And you, Gildor and Calthena just sort of stand up slowly. She sort of pulls herself up onto the banister, and you guys look out as this sort of monumental battle is taking place between two forces. The room is being split between light and dark. Pools of bright light are cutting swaths through this blackness, and you can see these silhouettes. One as perfect and as bright as the morning dawn, and the other as deep and as sorrowful as the twilight, are fighting and clashing.
I guess I would have.
I was gonna end the session.
Oh, I have one more thing I want to. Do.
What are you gonna do?
I would like to pick up my blade and walk to the door that other guy went through.
Oh. You begin limping off in that direction to go find this character. And that is where we're at.
Oh, I wanted to do one last thing.
I know, you get to do it next time.
Fuck. Alright, that's fine. I feel like we didn't get anywhere near as far as I wanted to get.
That's fine.
It's so many things to do this session. It's fine. It's fine.
Boo.
I know. That was just rough.
That was rough. It just took longer than it was.
It took a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 9:30.
Oh, it's not that late.
We started at 6. Started like 6:15ish. That's longer than most of our. And we didn't really take a break. We took like a 5-minute break.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
We've been going. It's almost like, I don't know, pushing 3 hours, or no, pushing past like 3 hours.
Yeah, we've
Almost
done longer.
3 hour and a half.
Some of our early ones we went longer.
It's just
That's
it's a good moment than dragging it on, and you'll get to be able to do what you do in the beginning of the session, and we still might be able to end the next session on an interesting note.
Alrighty. Well, that was good. That was rough.
That
was stressful.
That was
I'm
good, though.
sweaty.
Yeah. Cal, honestly, so I had to make the decision.
Whether or not he was gonna finish off Calthena. Yeah, that was.
He could have.
He could have.
But I was like, no, he wouldn't just sort of try to finish her off. He would definitely try to like keep fighting to win the fight. Finishing her off is sort of a callous move. He's not necessarily callous.
I mean, finishing her off would guarantee that we ended him as well. It would just be a petty move.
Right, and that's what he's trying to fight to the finish, not necessarily just kill for killing's sake. Yeah, but I should have had him use the command word to make, because he had the command spell. He has a couple spells that he can only do once per day. But I should have had him use that to make Gildor flee. And if Gildor would have fled, then he would have had another turn where it just would have been you and him. That would have been interesting, but I didn't do it. I forgot about it.
It's too late.
It's cool though. That was a good fight.
That was good. Well, we just like
Tired though.
ended it without like a. You just like got up. We didn't do any sort of like, exit thing.
I'm not.
No.
And plus I don't know. Whenever you get frustrated at the end, it's like I'm just gonna cut that out anyways.
Oh no, but
Because you always get frustrated.
that
And
one was like a. It was kind of like a. It felt like a really abrupt place to stop it. Like,
Yeah.
and not necessarily in like a organic way. It was like, and I was like, okay.
Right, but I was thinking about like how long other things would have taken.
Yeah. I'm not trying to like bring it down.
No, it's
it is,
no.
like,
Hey,
you
you're fine.
Because I never know when you're gonna call it, and so I'm already like a step ahead, thinking about what I'm gonna do.
You're
I
fine.
feel bad because you always get grumpy at me.
I'm not grumpy. Hey, no, I'm not grumpy.
All right.
It's just, and I honestly I love it.
You don't.
I do. It's not grumpiness. It's just like what any D&D player would feel.
Yeah.
I totally
I
understand.
just don't like how you like. I don't know. You kind of like shut down and get up, and I was like, oh.
Huh? No, I just shut down and I didn't shut down. I just got up because like I'm tired and I need to move. Like, and I want to get this stuff picked up. Hey,
Alright.
honestly, I'm not grumpy. I'm really not. I had fun. Okay? It definitely dragged on, but it's also good because everything that we haven't done, I still have planned.
Yeah.
So it's another filming session we can do next Monday, and we have 4 episodes we need to upload. So it's 4 episodes we can slowly trickle out and
We only
have
3.
Huh?
We only have 3.
3 right now, but if we
Yeah.
do one next Monday, that's 4.
I know.
And that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
So we can slowly trickle them out and maybe try to generate some more like hype for the show again
Yeah.
by having them release, and then we sort of have them stacked so we can keep filming and maybe be ahead.
Yeah.
Because that'd be nice. Because if we ever do suffer from time or whatever, and
Yeah.
you can't film, because I definitely want to try to keep filming, but I can't. I also can't like push myself to just go
Yeah, I know.
4 hours. Because I definitely start to get tired, and my brain starts to get frazzled.
I'm getting tired too.
But that was good.
It was good. There are parts that were really good.
Yeah. And you're gonna get to banish that dude when we start. After your friend Calthena almost got killed.
I know.
Literally almost got murdered.
So just.
And
So
he would have killed her had he not missed so much. Every time he struck, he missed at least 1 out of every 2 shots.
Yeah.
He was only hitting her 1 time.
Yeah. Just for you to keep in mind when we do jump into that, Banishment has a save, like they can save against it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna try to sort of show this guy the chaos happening out here, the fact that the Eladrin is down, and threaten him with joining the fray, or you can go back right now.
Well, honestly, if you want, you can just. I'm still recording this.
Oh yeah.
You can just banish him, and I'll just force him to fail to save. I'll just roll and say he did.
Okay.
Because I don't know if he'd be motivated to just leave. He's got the stats of a mage.